they had to jump for safety. Residents of the city of South Fulton have a chance to resolve outstanding municipal court cases this week.
The city is conducting an amnesty program all week. It's a chance to clear active bench warrants without penalty. People will also be able to renew suspended driver's licenses. Amnesty Week is open to all cases handled by the city of South Fulton's municipal court, with the exception of school zone and code enforcement violations. Municipal Court Administrator Dion Dixon says many people avoid addressing minor offenses due to fear, financial hardship, or the risk of being arrested for a missed court date. And she says Amnesty Week changes that narrative. Bill Kayachio, 95.5 WSB.
Officials with Ukraine and Russia have met today in Istanbul for another round of peace talks. It comes after a massive drone attack from Ukraine that destroyed at least 40 warplanes in Russia.
Ukraine's President Zelensky is calling this a brilliant operation and one for the history books. Ukraine targeted the enemy more than 2,500 miles from the front lines.
Correspondent Lee Kinnery says Russia confirms it was attacked across 5 different areas. And the CEO of Atlanta-based Delta Airlines, Ed Bastian, says he is more confident about demand for the second half of this year.
Bastian told Bloomberg TV that he expects demand to tick up a bit after weakness, especially in the U.S. earlier this year.
It's predominantly in the U.S. marketplace, predominantly in the main cabin section of the plane amongst our most price-sensitive customers. Business traffic is holding up.
Bastian said North Atlantic travel is doing well and that yields in the front end of the airplane remain strong. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start on the roads. Triple team traffic. Here is Smile on Mark McKay.
Vehicle off the roadway, Judd and Ackworth, causing north and southbound delays on I-75 between Altoona Gateway and Highway 92. Get into Cobb County, right lane starting to crowd up, approaching Windy Hill Road, trying to get onto I-285. 400 delays have improved between Alpharetta and Roswell. And yes, getting better out of Gwinnett County on I-85. Slowest part of that ride is going to still be from Highway 316 down to Beaver Ruin Road. Just a couple of slow spots. You're following along I-20, Ashley Frasca.
Now crowded from Evans Mill, I-20 westbound. You're in the heavy brake lights because of a left lane crash right at Panola Road, exit 71. And we're trying to uncover new trouble, a crash on I-20 eastbound just past Thornton Road as you roll through Lithia Springs. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies but hazy today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with some of the haze still sticking around, high 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower, high 85.
Storm tracker radar checking clear for Metro Atlanta and all of North Georgia. 68 degrees right now in Jefferson, 69 in Union City, 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We have got a humdinger of a show for you. Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35, get us caught up to date on all things politically, both locally and nationally. It's the return of the 5K Day Bonus Blitz around 10:18-ish. I'm going to give you a chance to win $1,000, giving you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. What a great way to kick off your Monday if you win $1,000 just by listening to the radio. And Deborah, we've got new tickets to give away today. Counting Crows, my friend. That's a good get. 11:37-ish. We'll give away a pair of tickets to the Counting Crows July 24th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Got a lot of big news stories to get you caught up to date on. I don't know if you guys saw the headlines of the details of this the Ukrainian attack against Russia. It's right out of a movie script like Mission Impossible. Patrick Revel from ABC News is going to join us in London with the details there. The big news, though, here stateside, obviously the terrorist attack in Colorado, just an awful scene. This is what it sounded like as it was going down.
We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing. We can. Not here. You have to answer this. Not here, bro. You're not.
Just an awful story. Suspect throwing Molotov cocktails at a flamethrower, 8 injured. Just an awful terrorist attack there. Coming up at 9:42, we're going to go to Jason Allen from CBS News. He is in Colorado. 9:35, we're going to get reaction to this from the Israeli consulate. She's going to join us live in studio. But joining us in studio, speaking of which, very excited. We heard the announcement on Atlanta's Morning News. State Senator John F. Kennedy from Georgia has announced he is running for the lieutenant governorship. Senator, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Mark. I'm glad to be with you. Thanks for giving me some time to visit with your listeners.
So my mom texts me all the time, what's coming up on the show this week? And I text her, I'm like, oh, John F. Kennedy's going to be in studio. And she's like, what? So just for my mom's sake, the backstory on your name. I mean, it is the most famous name in American politics. How did you wind up with the JFK moniker?
Great question, and I'll be happy to answer for your mom and anybody else, Mark, so thank you for that. So everyone thinks I was named after the president, and I was actually not. I was named after my grandfather, John P. Kennedy. My mother's maiden name is Flanders, so my name is John Flanders Kennedy, not John Fitzgerald. So it's a family name, but it's my family name. So that's how I got to be John F. Kennedy.
No, I mean, obviously a family name.
Yes.
I respect your parents' decision, but does that put an inordinate amount of pressure when you name your kid John F. Kennedy?
Great question. And unfortunately, my father passed away when I was younger, so I never really had the chance to ask him, hey, Dad, did you think about that when you named me after your father? I think it was more just he wanted to honor his father and name me after him. I was born in 1965, so clearly after the president's assassination. So that was known. But we've had fun with it on the campaign trail, and it's memorable. And
Absolutely.
In politics, that helps.
I'm just trying to think if my parents named me Rush Limbaugh Aram. Like I'd have no choice but to get into talk radio. But congratulations on the announcement. You're going to run for lieutenant governor. I need to ask. Why did you choose lieutenant governor as your next political step?
Great question, Mark. I have served in the Senate for 11 years now and really enjoyed my service there. I'm a boy from a small town in southeast Georgia called Adrian, Georgia. Grew up with South Georgia principals and saw my dad, referring to him, serve a community tirelessly around the clock as the only physician in the area. And so I really got a heart for public service, watching what someone who's dedicated to a community and that has a heart of service can do for an area. And that, quite frankly, inspired me to want to do something more than just the profession that I had. I'm privileged to practice law as a lawyer and can represent folks that need representation. Mm-hmm. But with my time in the Senate that I've enjoyed, I've had the privilege of not only being a senator but also being in leadership. I currently serve as the president pro tem of the Senate, which is the leading leadership role. And with all the changes that are coming up in 2026 and vacancies, the lieutenant governor's office is expected to be an open seat, and I think that's the next move for me to best and better serve not only my constituents but a larger base and get to serve all of Georgia.
What was this always the plan? And if not, when did you think, all right, maybe lieutenant governor is what I want to do?
No, it was not the plan. I got approached by a group of folks from back home 12 years ago and asked me to run for this Senate seat. And I initially said, thanks, I'm very flattered, but no, I'm in a good place in life. My kids were in high school. And I said, thanks, but no thanks. And then they said, okay, and came back to me a few months later and said, we really want you to run for this Senate seat. So I, after much thought and prayer with my family, decided it would be a good way for me to give back to a community that's been very good for me, and to me, rather. And so we made the decision to run. And so I've had the privilege of getting to do some things through leadership and getting to serve in a good way. But it was never the plan to go to any particular office. I've just had the good fortune of folks asking me to step up in different ways, and I've been able to do that.
So 11 years in the state Senate,
yeah,
right?
11 years, yeah.
And I looked up the election record. You get overwhelming support from your district. There's, never a nail-biting thing. But you got to recalibrate now with a statewide office, right? So what's the biggest challenge for you now that you are going to be running for a statewide office as opposed to just in your district where folks know you?
Sure. So I think the big challenge is to make sure that folks get to know me on a statewide basis, sort of as you were alluding to. I've got 6 counties in Middle Georgia that I absolutely love representing. I've got urban areas in Macon. I've got rural counties that I represent and everything in between. And that's been a real privilege to get to represent folks across the spectrum. I get excited about the thought of doing that on a larger scale across the state. It's a great big state, 159 counties, and you start thinking about crisscrossing the state to get your word out and so folks can get to know you. Initially, I know that's going to be a lot of work, but I'm a bit of a workaholic. I enjoy being busy, and my wife puts up with me working all the time and also very much supports my public service. And so
and she's on board with this. You got
totally,
the clearance with her. And...
Oh, absolutely. Listen, man, if she were not on board, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I would have never even given a second thought to running if she and my two children were not completely on board.
State Senator John Flanders Kennedy joining us live here in the Mark Arum Show. You hear the breaking news on Atlanta's Morning News running for lieutenant governorship. Two possible primary challengers on the Republican side. This election, this 2026 election, the headlines have been, well, who's going to run for Senate and who's going to run for the governor's mansion. But lieutenant governor, obviously, it's a top of ticket race. How do you see the dominoes falling when it comes to, do you expect to get endorsements before the primaries, or are Republican leadership's going to be, kind of hands off on this situation? What do you see the game plan coming up for?
I think probably because 26, is such a big year with so many offices open. Anyone that's running for office is sort of got their own race to run, so to speak. And so I don't know that there'll be a lot of cross endorsements back and forth. But I do think as we get further into the campaign, I think folks in Georgia will see that I do have a broad base of support, and I've got some folks that have gone before me in the political world that are asking me to run and that I anticipate will endorse at some point. But we'll just have to see. It's going to be a very busy year with, as you said, top of the ticket is the U.S. Senate seat, and that remains to be seen who our nominee. That will drive a lot of things that happen down ticket. Obviously, Governor Kemp won't be running again because he's term limited. As much as many of us would like to see him continue to serve in some office, we have to respect all the great work that he and his family have done and their great commitment to Georgia for so many years. And then on down the ticket would be the lieutenant governor spot, in which I hope to be on. You're right. There's a lot of interplay between those. But I think the Republicans are going to have a very good, strong ticket to offer the people of Georgia good choices for good continued leadership. We've had that, especially under Governor Kemp, for 6.5 years. But if you look at the things we've been able to accomplish, good kitchen table issues with good common sense conservative approach, good conservative budgeting, where we actually, unlike California and other states that they're struggling and have deficits, we have excess funds, and we're returning those monies to the taxpayers of Georgia. Because
I can't wait for that, by the way. I'm waiting for that refund. Just from hearing what you're saying, you want to continue the path that Governor Kemp's taken us on. But in your mind, what are three, or it doesn't have to be three, but a couple of biggest obstacles facing Georgia that you'd like to tackle if you become lieutenant governor?
Well, there may be opportunities and in some obstacles as well. I mean, what I want to do, Mark, is make sure that we, number one, continue to keep Georgia growing. If we have a good economic base and a good engine that drives our state, then you've got folks that can go to work, sustain themselves, support their family, and a lot of good things come from that, and a lot of social ills that sometimes government wants to step in and fix don't really get visited on our people if we've got a good economy. Secondly, we've got to keep Georgia learning. One of the things that I have worked on most recently, and I passed a bill this year called Senate Bill 123, which is a bill to address chronic absenteeism in Georgia. That's something, Mark, that's not really on folks' radar screens right now, but our absenteeism rate, chronic absenteeism rate, which means the percentage of kids that are missing 10% or more of their school days. That's 18 days or more. Mm-hmm. Would you believe it is 22% in the state of Georgia? Let me give you another.
That's huge.
Let me give you a worse number.
Yeah.
That means there are 380,000 school kids in the state of Georgia that are chronically absent. Mark, if they're not attending school, they're not going to become literate. If they're not literate, they're not going to graduate. And if they don't graduate, they're not going to have a chance for the American dream and the Georgia dream that we want all kids in Georgia to have. And so my Senate Bill 123 addresses chronic absenteeism. It's going to be a work in progress. It's not a silver bullet for it. But we also have a study committee that I've formed to look at this issue across the state. out of the 159 counties, 158 have chronic absenteeism rates of more than 10%. So it's a real problem, and we've got to address
I got to
this.
jump. You're obviously very, I mean, I see the passion.
Yeah.
Are you going to miss that if you become lieutenant governor, that you won't be, in the state Senate making these things happen and putting these bills forward?
You know, I enjoy the legislative process. I enjoy going to the well and trying to talk about the problems of our state and finding good common sense solutions. But as lieutenant governor, you get to greatly affect and impact the flow of legislation and the important things that need to be brought forth as solutions for Georgians. And so I think in that regard, I look forward to having a different role in doing that. The camaraderie and going to the well and being in the trenches, maybe I'll miss that, but I think helping aid good legislation that helps Georgians is something that I will greatly appreciate and enjoy doing as well.
You're gonna miss that. Sine die.
Yes, sir.
Sine die. All right, the website. I'm gonna say it because I don't know if you know your website or not, but the last 3 candidates I've had in studio didn't know their website. I'm gonna tell it. JFKforGeorgia.com is the website.
Great.
I don't JFK, and I'm assuming you're on social media. We can find you. I tagged you in my Twitter account. Congratulations on the announcement. Best of luck, and it's going to be an exciting ramp up to 2026 in November.
Great. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time. Love your show, and would love to come back anytime.
Absolutely. State Senator John Flanders Kennedy, Mom. There's the backstory just for my mom. I really appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to update the big story out in Colorado, and you are not going to believe how this Ukrainian attack against Russia went down. It is crazy. They're calling it Russia's Pearl Harbor. That's how big this attack was. We'll go in depth on that in a second. But first, on this Monday morn, how we doing out on the roads, Mike Shields?
Overall, not too bad, Mark. A little lighter than usual for a Monday, but we do have our issues like on I-20 westbound approaching Panola Road, exit 71. Live look at the jam cam. Crash remains in a left lane. Sluggish back to Evans Mill Road, and a stall in a center lane. I-20 eastbound getting past Thornton Road, exit 44, causing some delays in Lithia Springs. The support is brought to you by Staples Stores. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom prints, shipping services, and even passport photos. Staples, that's the easy way. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
Oh my God.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
It's the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10 a.m.
Oh, that's cool.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. 0 down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Aaron, you mentioned that taxes are on sale. What exactly does that mean? And is it something we need to take advantage of right now?
Yeah, Mark, it may not feel like it right now, especially this time of year, but when you look at history, we are actually in historically low income tax rates time. If you look back, tax rates have been significantly higher. And when you look at the national debt, which most reference at around $36 trillion, but when you consider the fact that with all the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, it's actually north of $100 trillion. When we look at factors like that, there's a pretty good chance that tax rates actually go significantly higher again. So yeah, you can make an argument that right now taxes are on sale.
So Aaron, what can we do right now to take advantage of these low tax rates?
If you don't have an income plan in your retirement conversations, then you actually don't have a tax plan. That's important, because if you don't have a plan for your money, guess who does? Uncle Sam's got one, and by default, you'll fall into that one. So we want to offer you a no-cost, no-obligation Tax Map. It's a deep dive into your retirement plan and specifically your tax strategy. From there, we'll make suggestions based on what's working or what opportunities could better fit your situation. The goal is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money while giving less to Uncle Sam. Call us at 770-280-1488. Again, that's 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we're available all across Metro Atlanta to meet you at a time and place that fits your schedule.
Taxes are not a seasonal conversation, and they're not going away once you retire. Take advantage of the complimentary tax map by calling the Vincent Financial Group today. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Whether you're driving your European car for sport or luxury, you need to get to know Wolf Pen Auto Repair in Roswell. This is Scott Slade. Even if your Porsche, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz just needs an oil change, you'll get factory-trained, certified technicians who love European cars as much as you love yours without sky-high dealer pricing. Wolf Pen customers constantly come away saying, "This is how it should be." To get to know you better, for a limited time, mention you heard about Wolf Pen on the radio and get a free second opinion on repairs. Just search Wolf Pen to get started.
2 additional victims were airlifted to the Denver metro area, I believe to Aurora Hospital Burn Unit. At this time, all 6 victims are still being treated.
Just horrible. That's Chief Stephen Redfern in Boulder, Colorado. Multiple injuries, all burn victims, as this terror suspect had a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails. We're going to go live to Boulder at 9:42. Check in with Jason Allen from CBS News, but Mola Lenghi from ABC's in Boulder this morning.
The FBI says they're investigating this incident as an act of terror and targeted violence. Colorado Governor Jared Polis also calling it a heinous act of terror, writing on X, "Hate-filled acts of any kind are unacceptable." Boulder's Jewish community putting out a joint statement saying in part, "Our hearts go out to those who witnessed this horrible attack and prayers for a speedy recovery to those who were injured." Mola Lenghi, ABC News, Boulder.
Unbelievable. Witnesses were able to point out the suspect. He was taken into custody at the scene. Again, at 9:42, we're going to go live to Boulder. We're coming up after the 9:35 news. We're going to get immediate reaction. Anat Sultan Dadan, the Israeli consulate for the southeastern United States, is going to join us live, talking about that horrible story and the latest on what's going on between Israel and Hamas. But I think I need to drive to North Georgia. Is it tonight, Deborah? Full disclosure, I have never in my 51 years ever witnessed the Northern Lights. What? Not once. Not even when I was on the Alaskan cruise or anything. When I've been to Canada, when I go on my hunting trips in the Great... No, I'm just kidding. But I've never seen the Northern Lights, but they're going to be visible in North Georgia. Is that right?
Kind of. Look to the skies because the Northern Lights might be visible tonight, but you're going to need a camera. Now, you can use the camera on your phone. Go ahead and set it to night mode, point it up to the sky. And the reason is because your human eyes can't really see all spectrums of light, but in that special night mode, they're going to be able to capture the auroras that are in the skies. And sometimes when people look at them, it might just look like clouds or haze. So set your camera to night mode and point it up, and you'll be able to see all the colors.
Look, can I do it in Decatur, or do I have to go to, like, Ellijay?
I mean, you're not going to be around too many lights, right? They say to get away from light pollution, so you'll have to go somewhere where there's not so many city lights.
Bright lights, big city. All right. Well, I'm not going to do it then. If I got to
That's why you've never seen them.
Well, no, because if I see them, I want to see them. I don't want to have to look through my iPhone camera and squint, and I want to see Aurora Borealis. You kind of scoffed that I've never seen them. I'm assuming that means you have, Deborah?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Interesting.
When
Longo,
you go
have
up to
seen
northern
them?
Wisconsin.
I have never seen them, no.
Yeah, all right.
But maybe you should put on your readers. Maybe that'll bring out the Aurora, whatever.
Aurora Borealis. Judd, you ever seen the Northern Lights? When you get,
I have up in Montana.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but
All right.
yeah, they're very pretty.
Yeah, all right. I enjoy them if you see them today, but I want to actually see them. I don't want to have to look through my iPhone lens.
It's on my bucket list to see them.
You haven't even been to Athens yet, Vinny. Let's take these.
Who cares?
Let's
Northern
take
Lights.
these things one at a time. All right. Thank you for that, Deborah. All right, Judd's standing by. He's seen the Northern Lights. He's going to give you your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, more on the breaking news out of Colorado and reaction to this anti-Semitic terrorist attack on not Sultan Dadan, the Consulate General for Israel to the Southeast United States, joining us live. Don't forget 1018 this morning. I'm going to give you another keyword, chance for you to win $1,000. That would kick off your Monday. You'd no longer have a case of the Mondays. You win $1,000. Make sure you're listening. Keyword in the 5K day bonus splits coming up at 10:18 right here on the Mark Arum Show.
Steel Horse Law knows that your bike is made of steel, but your heart is made of gold. If someone causes you to lay your bike down, you deserve the very best from an experienced firm that knows bikers because they are bikers. Eric Von Hassler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. They're local, so they understand the changes to Georgia law, and you'll meet directly with your attorney, not just an assistant like the mega firms. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Do you have a plumbing issue but have a busy weekday schedule? Superior Plumbing can schedule an appointment that fits your schedule. They show up on time and get the job done right the first time. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years.
Summer is almost here, and let's be real, your house looks like it's been hiding under a pile of pollen, doesn't it? Just like mine in that dirty driveway. Ooh, not fooling anybody either. That's why I called Wise Guys Pro Wash. They gave me a quote, showed up the next day, and bam, clean house, sparkling patio, and a deck I actually want to sit on. With more than 2,000 5-star Google reviews, Wise Guys is the only company I trust to get my home summer ready. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
Hi, it's Wes Moss. May's mayhem is behind us, and June is in full bloom. Spring brings milestones like graduations, weddings, and even new homes. It's also a time when you might be thinking about retirement. If that's you, visit our team at Capital Investment Advisors. We'll work with you to craft an income-focused portfolio designed to deliver a reliable paycheck in retirement. Get started at yourwealth.com. That's Y-O-U-R wealth.com.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, sorting out some moving parts this morning in Georgia politics. First, another name joining the field of candidates seeking to unseat longtime Congressman David Scott.
State Representative Jasmine Clark is the third challenger in the Democratic primary against incumbent David Scott, who has served as the 13th District Representative since 2003. He is second only to Albany's Sanford Bishop in terms of length of tenure within the Georgia congressional delegation. Some have expressed concerns about Scott's age and health. He'll be 80 this month, and Clark says she'll bring a bolder approach in standing up to the Trump administration. The other announced candidates are State Senator Emanuel Jones and former Gwinnett County Education Board Chair Everton Blair. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Meanwhile, State Senator John Kennedy was just on with Mark Arum, announcing he will run in the Republican primary in the race to replace outgoing Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Kennedy joins 4 other Republicans who have announced their own bids, along with Democratic State Senator Josh McLaurin. Jones widely expected to jump into Georgia's gubernatorial race. It is 68 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says look for sunny, hazy skies today, high in the low 80s. We will likely get a bit warmer tomorrow. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now, part of the reason for that haze is smoke that has drifted hundreds of miles from almost 200 wildfires burning in Canada. More than half of those fires still burning out of control across Canada, which is getting some help from the U.S.
The U.S. Forest Service has answered the call, deploying an air tanker to Alberta. Firefighters and equipment are also on the way, but there's no weather relief in sight. No significant rainfall is in the forecast.
And reporter Josh Crabb says while we're seeing some smoky haze here, the air quality in several northern states from Montana to Minnesota is deemed unhealthy. Getting more information this morning in a fatal officer-involved shooting in Fulton County. A witness flagged down an officer working an off-duty security job at the Heritage Station Apartments on McDaniel Street in Atlanta, where they spotted a man busting out the window of Corporal Damian Allen's police vehicle. Now, Allen says the man then approached him with a flat metal object in his hand. When he refused to drop it, Allen shot and killed the man. No one else was injured. The GBI is now investigating. Stone Mountain City Council asked the city attorney to draft an ordinance on how to remove elected officials. This may pave the way for the removal of Mayor Beverly Jones. Jones accused of unilaterally seizing control of city bank accounts. She insists she did it over security concerns. Mayor Pro Tem Ryan Smith says the city has regained control of those accounts. It says no action will be taken against Jones until the investigation is complete. And Cobb County has made the switch. Its new official website is now a .gov web domain rather than .org. County spokesman Ross Cavett admits it'll take some time to get used to the change if you have some business with the county.
We had 8 million visitors to cobbcounty.org last year. So we're hoping that everybody starts making the change over to .gov.
He says the federal government pushed them to make the change for security reasons. All county residents are asked to bookmark the new site. It is 9:33 as we check your money. Mixed bag on Wall Street. The Dow opening down more than 100 points. S&P is down slightly. The NASDAQ is up slightly. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, long-standing crash still in a left lane on I-20 westbound right at Panola Road, exit 71. Sluggish 3 miles back starting at Evans Mill Road, exit 74. New crash on the jam cam. Just moved to the left shoulder. Several vehicles involved, though. 85 southbound before Beaver Road, exit 102. Putting a little extra pressure on your ride, leaving 316. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and hazy today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower, high 85.
69 degrees in Woodstock, 68 in Decatur, 68 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hate against any of us must be treated against hate against all of us. That's a moral stand that's imperative.
That's Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser. We continue our coverage of the terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado, 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda's proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Metallica in the round.
Full speed or nothing.
The M72 World Tour continues. Live from the 50-yard line of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. One night only. June 3rd. Metallica. Special guests, those Cowboys from Hell, Pantera.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
And Suicidal Tendencies. Tickets on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com. Metallica in the rounds. The M72 World Tour continues. Presented by In Kind.
It is summertime in Atlanta, and unless you're living in the pool, it is just too hot to be outside, right? So where are you and the kids Inside, doing crafts, eating popsicles, and yes, making messes. Paint on the floor, popsicle drips in the carpet. It adds up fast, but don't sweat it. Zero-Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning has your back this summer. It's Chris Chandler, and Zero-Res is the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. With their powerful ZR water technology, Zero-Res cleans like magic with no harsh soaps, no chemicals, and zero residue. Means your carpets stay cleaner, fluffier, and healthier longer. And now's the perfect time to book, too, during the Zero-Res Summer Sale. Get 15% off carpet cleaning, air ducts, area rugs, upholstery, tile, and grout, all of it, 15% off. Just mention me, Chris Chandler, when you book to lock in your discount. Visit ZeroResAtlanta.com today to schedule. And don't forget, Zero-Res offers commercial cleaning, too. Zero-Res, all they leave is clean.
Just stay away. Stay away. He's right there. He's throwing Molotov cocktails right there. Everybody get back. Everybody get back.
Just an awful scene in Boulder, Colorado. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. 8 injured, some critically, in a terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. The suspect is in custody, an Egyptian national that has overstayed his visa, shouting pro-Palestinian remarks while throwing Molotov cocktails. We're going to go live to Boulder in just a couple of minutes. Jason Allen from CBS is going to join us, but getting immediate reaction. Joining us on the show from the Israeli consulate to the southeastern United States, Anat Sultan Dadan. Anat, as always, thanks for your time. I wish we had better things to talk about.
Indeed, I'm glad to be with you, but unfortunately, we are talking today after our previous conversation followed the murder of my 2 colleagues from our embassy in Washington, Yaron Dushinsky and Sarah Milgram. And yesterday evening, again, we see on the streets of America an anti-Semitic terror attack targeting Jews again.
Middle-aged man who, as I mentioned, overstayed his visa. Usually when we see these types of attack, it's younger people. That's what separated this from all the other anti-Semitic terror attacks we've seen. What are you hearing from Israel? Have we heard anything from the Prime Minister on this latest horrific incident?
Yes, of course. The Prime Minister has condemned and is horrified, as we all are. This is the direct result of the incitement and the blood libels against Israel, the Jewish state, and the Jewish people, and this has to stop. I mean, we saw just yesterday a blood libel is spreading like wildfire, being picked up by news outlets all around the globe, accusing Israel again of something that not only did we not do, but there is actual proof for the fact that Hamas is targeting their own civilians. Hamas and their supporters do not want to see aid distributed and reaching the civilians because Hamas wants to control this.
So for folks that
we are accused of supposedly killing dozens. This spreads like wildfire. No one actually stops to reflect on the fact that they're serving as a mouthpiece for a terror organization. And yet when this attack happens, all of a sudden we see prudence and caution. We see so many media outlets after this happens and the perpetrators calling Free Palestine. We see them all of a sudden saying, well, the motive is yet to be established. All of a sudden there is prudence and caution when an anti-Semitic terror attack happens.
For folks that aren't familiar with the story you're referring to, so apparently 50 people were killed in Gaza during an aid distribution, and the blood libel you mentioned was they were blaming Israeli soldiers for this, but the IDF has strongly come out and said it was not us. Do we have any further details on that story?
There is video footage of this aid distribution site. There is clear evidence that the IDF did not fire at civilians while they were near or within the humanitarian aid distribution site. And the reports to this effect are completely false. But this has not stopped so many in the international community and in the international media from quoting what Hamas is providing as fact.
Well, I mean, obviously, anything you get from the Hamas-led media outlets that are there should be taken with a grain of salt. But if there's video evidence, I would think that this would put an end to it. Do you think that? So this the aid was through the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Because of what happened, do you think that aid is going to slow down or cease to exist now moving forward?
Well, contrary to the terrorists and their supporters, Israel is actually committed. And together with our American allies, we are committed to ensuring that humanitarian aid reach the Palestinian civilian population. And that is what these aid distribution sites are about. That is why they've been established. And we're committed to continuing that because we do want to see aid in the hands of the Palestinian civilian population, but we do not want to see aid in the hands of the terrorists. And that is something that should not only be an Israeli interest, that should be the interest of all of us, of all of the United Nations and all of the aid organizations who are, for an insane reason, they are standing against this. Why would they oppose the aid ending up in the hands that they actually should be ending up with? It is just completely upside down. And the fact that these false reports are spread with no scrutiny. This is just one example yesterday. We saw recently the claim made by a UN official that within 48 hours, 14,000 babies would die of starvation in Gaza. Not a single baby died of starvation in Gaza. And yet this blood libel persists.
Yeah, fighting on the battlefield and fighting, a PR battle as well. Anat Sultan-Dadan, Consul General of Israel to the United States, thank you, as always, for your time jumping on this breaking news. Continue our coverage of the terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. Joining us live from Colorado, CBS's News, Jason Allen. Jason, good morning. Thank you for your time.
No, good morning. Glad to be here with you.
Just saw a banner on one of the cable news networks of the 8 people that were injured. One was a Holocaust survivor. What's the status of the injured, and what are you hearing from law enforcement authorities?
It's a big question this morning, and one we're working on because as the suspect was booked into jail overnight, it's notable that the charges against him specifically read murder in the first degree. Which, brings you to think that potentially some of these injuries are not just injuries anymore and that there may have been a death. However, at this point, authorities have not officially said that anybody has died. So that's something that we're working hard on. So he does have that first degree murder charge, though, and there are charges of using an explosive and incendiary device. There are charges of crimes against the elderly. Believe he'll have his first appearance here later today, but quite the bond on him as well, the $10 million bond that has been put on Mohammed Solomon for what happened here yesterday.
I played some witness audio earlier in the show. They say the suspect was using a makeshift flamethrower and throwing Molotov cocktails into the crowd. What event or what? Where was he when he perpetrated these crimes?
So this is an area in Boulder. It's sort of a pedestrian walkway, a mall, a street that doesn't have any traffic down it. And so there's all kinds of people that can be out here, especially on a nice sunny afternoon in the first few days of June. And this is a walk that happens every single week. People get together. It's not a demonstration. They don't want to call it a protest. It's merely a walk. They have pictures of some of the hostages that are still in Gaza. And it's just to routinely, draw awareness that these folks are still there. So it was as they were gathering in this same spot on the mall, and they do this every single week, and they have since 2023, as they were getting together is when witnesses say this suspect came up, started shouting anti-Israel statements, and then had that makeshift flamethrowers, it's been described, and the Molotov cocktails, and fire just starting erupting. There's still, you can see here in Boulder this morning, there's still scorch marks on the pavement. They've had maintenance crews out there this morning trying to clean that up. But yeah, this is a very public area, a place where there are a lot of people gathered and where they had been gathering since 23 with without issues until yesterday.
Yeah, so I guess this would be like a weekly event that the suspect would have known in advance. Again, the suspect is Mohammed Sabri Salaman, charged in this Boulder attack. He arrived in the U.S. in August of 2022 as a non-immigrant visitor. That, according to multiple law enforcement officials. He filed a claim a month later in September, was granted a work authorization in March of 2023. That authorization expired at the end of March of this year, at which point he appears to have remained here illegally, which is, obviously going to be a factor, I would imagine, moving forward, not only criminally, but politically. These charges that he's facing, Jason, is Colorado state charges, federal charges, both. Do we know what comes first?
Right now, these are just state charges because he's being held by the here in Boulder County by the sheriff's office. So that's how it's starting. I'd imagine you have. Because you've got the FBI and DHS and everybody else looking into this, this could be a situation where they charge him federally instead of in the state. And they are still working to learn a lot more about him. The FBI was down south of where we are in Boulder, down in Colorado Springs, where they believe he was living. They were working there at a scene last night. So still a lot of investigation going on as to, I'm sure, just how much planning had gone into this. Was he working alone? Were there other people? Did he become radicalized? All those things that unfortunately we have become used to, those questions we become used to asking after events like this.
Final question, Jason. I probably know the answer. Just reaction from the Boulder community: shock, stunned, saddened. What are you hearing from the folks on the ground level?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just a few minutes ago actually talked to the regional director for the ADL who lives here in the Boulder area, and she was in New York yesterday and it was there with her family and got a text and immediately went to the airport and got a flight and came back here. And obviously she said you're struck when something happens like what happened less than 2 weeks ago in DC because it feels like it's hitting, the Jewish community, but to have it hit right in your own community, your hometown, she said that's a very, very difficult thing. It brings it so much closer to home. And that's why she came back right away. She said she had to be here for her people in her community.
Jason Allen, CBS News in Colorado. Jason, great reporting on a very difficult story. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. So interesting new development there to a murder charge. So maybe we were led to believe that there were 8 victims, but all survived. Maybe one has perished from their injuries. 2, I believe, were critically injured. Any new information, we will bring it to you here on 95.5 WSB. Quick break. When we come back, I'm going to update our top local stories. A reminder, 10:18, so 30 minutes from right now? Yeah, 30 minutes from right now, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz, a chance for you to win $1,000 just for listening to the radio. Who couldn't use $1,000 to brighten their Monday? Your chance to win coming up at 10:18. Winners or losers on the road this early Friday morning. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
Yeah, Mark, still watching a crash in the left lane. Over an hour old now. 20 westbound Panola Road exit 71. Bumper to bumper, leaving Evans Mill Road exit 74. New crash getting in the Cobb Cloverleaf 285 eastbound the Interloop right at I-75. That's in a right lane. This report is brought to you by Purple Mattress. Purple mattresses and pillows are up to 75% off for a limited time. Shop by their showroom at the outlet shops at Atlanta this weekend for amazing deals. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
all the notifications you need.
If you have the WSB app,
all the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Change, it's always happening. Hey, it's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music change. But no matter how many things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. It's Mark Aram here, and Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. 5-year price guarantee. only from Xfinity. Surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet, 5 years guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Let's be real. Your money should be working for you. You're building a life, chasing dreams, and planning for what's next. You need a financial partner who gets it. At Georgia United Credit Union, we know that better rates aren't just numbers. It's more breathing room, and that helpful service isn't a luxury. It's essential support. That's why we offer real solutions and a team that's genuinely invested in your success. Discover the difference at gucu.org/join. We are Georgia United Credit Union. We are united. Insured by NCUA.
Scott Slade here for My Roofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? SafeStep walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-414-4420 and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-414-4420 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-414-4420 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
My wife went to bed early and Barbara went to bed. President and I are in this living room, had a little cigars, a little brandy, just cozy, He's looking at me. How you doing, Dang?
Happy 70th birthday, Dana. Dana Carvey is 70. I remember when he was like the kid on Saturday Night Live. Welcome back to the Mark Ham Show. We've had him on the show, right, Deborah? Dana Carvey? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe before I was working with you then.
Yeah, so at some point, Dana Carvey's been on. We had him and the younger comedian that they have a podcast together. They resemble each other. Yeah, my mind is gone.
Spade.
David Spade, thank you.
David Spade we've had on for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, happy 70th birthday. So my angst continues here. Already 12 times, and it's hurting the show. In case you know what I'm talking about, we have this double verification on emails to make sure we don't get hacked or spammed or whatever. And 12 times already in an hour and a half, I've had to and it happens when I'm during interviews and I need to pull up an email. This has got to stop. This has got to stop.
Have you talked to engineering?
I don't know. I'm talking to a million people right now. I assume one of them is our WSB radio engineer.
Tell engineering that if they don't fix it, you're going to have to print out a bunch of stuff, and they'll get angry about that.
All right, I'm just and the printer. Don't even get me started on the printer. That being said, I'm not. I think this is corporate level. It's not like our internal IT folks. And they just set up my new iPhone, so I have no beef with our internal IT department. I think it's at the corporate level. That being said, a smartphone was smuggled, I guess, out of North Korea, which is rare. You know, I didn't even know they had smartphones in North Korea. But what was found out about this North Korean smartphone was mind-blowing, Deborah. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so this phone was smuggled out of North Korea. It doesn't say what kind of phone is it. Like, we don't know if it's an Android. We don't know if it's an iPhone because they all kind of look the same. But it was smuggled out of the country, and they were able to kind of open it up and look at it. And when it was used, if you tried to type in certain things, like if you wanted to use South Korean slang, it would automatically pop up these messages saying, no, you should use these words instead. And it would take the screenshots of anything that you were doing. It would store them in a private folder where the North Korean government, the authorities, could actually access at any time to see what exactly you might be looking up. But the big thing was like South Korean terms or anything happening in South Korea. They would say, oh, no, try this like communist-friendly alternative instead.
Yeah, so if you type in, we're all familiar with autocorrect, right? Mm-hmm. Which can sometimes be the bane of my existence. But if you type in South Korea on this North Korean phone, it autocorrects South Korea to puppet regime. Mm-hmm. Like that's like, oh, I'm gonna go visit my family in South Korea. It autocorrects. Oh, I'm gonna go visit my family in the puppet regime. That's insane. I wonder how many people have smartphones in North Korea. It's probably under 1,000, right? In that, you know, it's a starving nation and a poor nation, unless you're the Kim family. That's insane. So as much as I despise what's going on digitally here, we should all be thankful we're not in North Korea yet, although Peter Greenberg is going to take me there at some point. Maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. We'll go to North Korea and see the Northern Lights all in one fell swoop. Thank you for that story, Deborah. All right, news, weather, and traffic less than 3 minutes away. When we come back, the planning that Ukraine had to do to perpetrate this attack over the weekend against Russia is something out of a movie. And you might not even believe it if it was in a movie. Crazy stuff. They're calling it the Pearl Harbor of Russia. Patrick Revel from ABC has the latest in London. He joins us next on The Mark Arum Show. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio. Don't forget, 1018, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Another chance for you to win $1,000.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Hey, your house called. It wants a bath. Not just any bath either, a full-on pollen-blasting, grime-busting spa day from Wise Guys Pro Wash. If your home looks anything like mine did, covered in pollen and grime and algae, then it's time you give Wise Guys Pro Wash a call. One quick call, a fast quote, and next-day service. I found it was that easy, and the best part, I didn't even need to be home. They handled everything, the house, the deck, and the driveway. It all looked amazing when I pulled in from work. They even cleaned the roof. All those black streaks are gone now. Wise Guys can take care of it all, and thanks to their soft wash, everything was cleaned safely. No damage, no peeling paint on our siding and trim. No wonder they've got more than 2,000 5-star reviews. I trust Wise Guys Pro Wash to get it done right every time. So, mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. But hurry, summer fills up fast. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
WSB Atlanta. WSB-FM and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We're going to start with this. When's the last time you changed your password? Might be time. A major data breach this morning. Jim Ryan says the data breach may be one of the biggest yet, impacting anybody with an Apple device, Facebook account, or Google account.
It's time to change your passwords and update your devices. A massive data breach that compromised more than 184 million passwords is being called a cyber criminal's dream. Online researchers say the leak affected everything from email accounts to social media logins to bank accounts. The problem? The file containing all that sensitive information was itself not password protected.
All right, your weather for today. It's going to be sunny but hazy. Highs around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. And wildfires raging in Canada, well, they are impacting us. We're seeing some haze from those fires in parts of the metro area and around the nation. Alex Perez has more.
There are some 94 wildfires in Canada that authorities there consider to be burning out of control, forcing some 17,000 people there to evacuate. That thick smoke, unfortunately, drifting south into the U.S., creating hazy and, for many, unhealthy conditions in several states, stretching to the Midwest and parts of the Upper Plains, leading to a number of air quality alerts across the region, including the entire state of Minnesota and through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
The American Jewish Committee is condemning Sunday's attack in Boulder, Colorado, and Egyptian nationals in custody after a flame-throwing attack on a group calling for the release of Israeli hostages held by Hamas. At least 8 people injured. The committee releasing a statement this morning calling it another vile attack against Jews in America. The group called the hatred that fueled the attack a dangerous poison and said everyone needs to stand up against it. There is another Democrat joining the race against David Scott, who has served in Congress since 2003.
Congressman Scott turns 80 later this month, and some wonder if it might be time for some new energy. So State Representative Jasmine Clark is entering the race and believes a louder voice is needed to push back against the Trump administration. She has a PhD in microbiology and has served in the State House since 2019. The heavily Democratic 13th District covers portions of Clayton County, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Henry, Newton, and Rockdale. Scott is seeking his 13th term and remains popular with many constituents. The Democratic primary will also include State Senator Emanuel Jones and former Gwinnett County Education Board Chair Everton Blair. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
It is a new month, and we started with cheaper gas prices. This week, a gallon of regular unleaded is 3 cents cheaper here in Georgia at $2.88 a gallon. Nationally, gas prices are down 4 cents from last week to $3.14 for a gallon of regular unleaded. While experts do expect gas prices to stay low this summer, hurricane season could cause temporary price increases in some areas. Steep new tariffs are rattling the markets. President Trump announcing them on Friday, and a 50% tariff on steel and aluminum due to take effect this week. And that could impact the prices on everything from cars, homes, to groceries. White House political correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more from Washington.
The European Commission now says it's preparing countermeasures, while Canada says it also plans to retaliate. But administration officials say the tariffs are needed to protect national security. With legal challenges to the president's tariffs proceeding and no big trade deal in sight, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick insists deals are coming.
And as we take a look at the markets, we're in the red this morning. The Dow's down 388 at 41,882. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down almost 0.5%. And the S&P's down more than 0.5% here in the 10 o'clock hour. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good Monday morning to Smiling Mark McKay.
Good morning, Sabrina. It is slow through the work zone into Cobb County. We know why. Left lane crash. I-20 westbound. Panola Road exit 71. Heavy back toward Evans Mill. You can always jump on Covington Highway to avoid those delays. Slow zone starting to improve out of Lithia Springs on 20 eastbound past Thornton Road exit 44. Rolling north through Ackworth on I-75 northbound. Police rescue working a crashed left shoulder I-75 northbound before Glade Road, the former Glade Road, now Alatoona Gateway exit 278. Delays improving through Gwinnett County, now just a tap of the brakes 85 southbound as you leave Beaver Ruin Road. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Sunny skies but hazy today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with some of the haze still sticking around, high 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower, high 85.
72 degrees in Norcross, 73 in Dunwoody. It's 74 right now in Loganville. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah is the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls coming up in 13-ish minutes. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to $1,000 just by listening to WSB Radio. 30 minutes from now, Eric Erickson's going to join us live. And at 11:37, Deborah's done it again. Going to give away a pair of tickets to see the Counting Crows, July 24th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Obviously, some really big stories. If you missed the first hour of the show, John Flanders Kennedy, JFK, Georgia State Senator, in his first interview after announcing that he is going to run for lieutenant governor, he joined us live, and we just went live to Boulder, Colorado, getting more details on this terrorist attack. The suspect had a makeshift flamethrower, was throwing Molotov cocktails at a rally in support of releasing the hostages still held in Gaza. He was taken into custody alive. A $50 million bond, and apparently he had overstayed his visa. So obviously we're going to follow that and monitor it. But I want to go to London now from ABC News. Patrick Reveal. Patrick, good morning. Thanks for your time. They're calling it Russia's Pearl Harbor. Devastating attack by Ukraine against Russia over the weekend. What details can you share with us this morning?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, this attack is drawing comparisons with Pearl Harbor because of the extraordinary level of surprise and the extraordinary level of damage inflicted on Russia's Air Force. And as you say, it wasn't just Moscow, it was across the country. In particular, it was deep inside Russia. It was far across into Siberia, which is, one base almost more than 3,500 miles from Ukraine. And basically, Ukraine unleashed this wave of commercial drones targeting these air bases, these 4 key strategic air bases that are home to Russia's heavy bomber fleet, long-range bomber fleet. These are the nuclear-capable Cold War era bombers that Russia uses to launch cruise missiles at Ukraine. And we've seen already satellite imagery suggesting that they suffered very significant losses. There appear to be at least 12 Russian heavy bombers damaged or destroyed at just 2 of these bases. And not only was the result extraordinary, the manner of the attack was just incredible. What we saw was basically dozens of commercial drones smuggled into Russia and then hidden inside what were basically wooden structures or mobile homes, basically, that were put on the back of trucks driven by unsuspecting Russian civilian drivers. And at a certain point, the roofs opened of these containers and the drones took off and began attacking these air bases, catching the Russians entirely unprepared.
That's absolutely remarkable. Just for clarification purposes, Patrick, unlike what Russia's been doing to Ukraine, this attack was strictly against military bases. No civilians were targeted in this attack?
Yeah, and that's absolutely where the comparison with Pearl Harbor falls down a bit, right? Because this is not a surprise attack without a declaration of war on the Russians. This is an attack on the bombers that have been hitting Ukraine for more than 3 years and are absolutely involved in some of the strikes that have caused very significant civilian casualties inside Ukraine. But we don't know for sure what the casualties were at these air bases. It appears there were relatively few, even potentially military casualties, because they were very focused on these aircraft, these bombers that were parked out in the open on the runways, and because obviously they were the most valuable targets. So we know from the Russians this morning, they say that they've detained 4 truck drivers and are looking currently for the owner of the trucking company. The Ukrainians say that the dozens of operatives they claim were involved in this attack have already left Russia. I think they would say that, of course. It's possible they are still hiding in the country. But really, just an extraordinary attack that also, has a very powerful signal to the Russians, because ultimately these aircraft are a key to Russia's ability to being a global military power. This is how this is really the sort of crown jewels of Russia's Air Force. Without these, it cannot be a major international military power. Now, they still have more of these aircraft. It's not that they've lost their bomber fleet entirely, but this is an extraordinary blow for them to have suffered.
Absolutely. Patrick, this doesn't sound like this was planned over the weekend. This sounds like this was a long-term operation. Do we have any idea on the backstory on that?
So President Zelensky and also the head of Ukraine's domestic intelligence service, the SBU, have talked about it. They say that the operation, which is called Spiderweb, had been planned for about 18 months. And they say over the course of that, they had smuggled in 117 of these drones, and then also many of the operatives. I mean, President Zelensky claims that the operatives were actually in one region, flying them from a base, from a place which was next to the local headquarters of Russia's own FSB security service, which obviously would be another humiliation for the Russians. But, clearly, as you say, this is something that would require a lot of planning. I think an important thing to talk about as well, people ask, was the United States aware of this? I think, honestly, we can say it's extremely unlikely that they were, because even under President Biden, the Ukrainians often, for their most audacious attacks, would not tell the U.S. because they were afraid that the U.S. would say to them, don't do it, because they were concerned about escalating with Russia, and also because they were worried about leaks. And so, obviously, I think almost certainly they would have feared they'd be told not to do it. This is really one of the most, if not the most audacious attack of the war, going after Russia's nuclear-capable bomber fleet. It's hard to see what more. There's not that many things above that which you could do that would be, in some ways, more upsetting for the Russian military.
Since you brought up the U.S., obviously President Trump has grown extremely frustrated with the Russia-Ukraine war and more increasingly with Vladimir Putin. So we know what the temperature is like here stateside. What about our European allies? What's their stance right now? What's their take? What's their read on what's going on?
I think that's a great question. I think many of them ultimately, and we've seen some in Britain, we've seen some politicians praising the attack. I think people are cautious not to publicly come out because they know how sensitive Russia will already be to what has been a very humiliating psychological blow, and they won't want to try and further inflame tensions. But the timing of this is very significant because as we speak, the Russians and Ukrainians are meeting in Istanbul for another round of ceasefire talks. And the first round last month failed because the sides are extremely far apart, and Russia ultimately came to those talks with very extreme demands, basically, again, asking for Ukraine's effective surrender. And so I think, and President Zelensky has said this openly, this attack is timed and designed to try and say to the Russians, look, you may be very, very slowly winning on the battlefield. You might be making some progress, gaining villages at the cost of a lot of lives. But if you continue in this war, the risks that you are going to ultimately keep degrading your own military are very high. And so you should consider whether perhaps now is the time to start thinking about compromises. I think the problem, of course, is Vladimir Putin is not known for making compromises. And I think it's very likely that in the short term, at least, we're more likely to see some kind of major retaliation from him. Though what exactly will be difficult because short of it, he's already invaded Ukraine. He's already launching the biggest drone and missile attacks of the war at Ukrainian cities. So the Russians will struggle to think of what to do, but I'm sure they are trying to think of something.
Huge development and a huge international story. Patrick Reevell, ABC News London. Patrick, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I think the final installment of Mission Impossible is third in the box office this weekend. Deborah, this drone attack is like a Mission Impossible movie. This is crazy. So it was a year and a half planning. Ukraine did this. Apparently didn't tell their allies, loose lips sink ships. They keep it in-house. And they put these drones in makeshift mobile homes. So think about, I'm sure you've seen on the interstates a truck coming, driving down, mobile home delivery in the back, wide load. So they had these. And they hired unsuspecting Russian truck drivers, be like, oh, we're a mobile home company. Please take this to Siberia or take this to Moscow. And inside those mobile homes were these armed drones. And they had jiggered it up that the roof of the mobile home would open up like a garage door and allow holy smokes. I thought the Israeli, remember the cell phone attack they did against the Hezbollah? That was the next level. Oh, my goodness. Meanwhile, these Russian truck drivers, they're innocent, but they're going to get killed because Putin's going to be like, you idiots. What are you doing? He's like, I was just delivering a mobile home to Stalingrad or Leningrad. I don't even know if I'd buy that in a movie. Crazy
Kind of
stuff.
like the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much
right.
the same thing.
That's next level stuff. Tip of the hat to our Ukrainian friends. That's insane. And knocking out their important, not all of them, as Patrick said, but a lot of their bombers. Insane. All right, updating. We're going to update the tariff situation in just a second. There's been movement on that with the court system, out of the court systems. But I was wondering if, as Atlantans, Georgians were tariff-proofing their homes, a lot of people went out and bought big-ticket items. Big screen TVs or laptops or electronics, et cetera. It just occurred to me that maybe like appliances. Like my mom, her fridge pooped out, and they had to get her. She was telling me the story, Deborah. She's like, yeah, I had company over the other day, and then the refrigerator started leaking and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, what company? She goes, Frigidaire. I said, no. What company was over? Like, who did you have over? She's like, oh, I thought you meant anyway. Hopefully, you have a really good working air conditioner because AC prices, not just the cost of running them, but the actual hardware costs are rapidly rising. How expensive is an AC unit now, Deborah?
Yeah, if you need a new AC unit, it's going to cost you. It's going to be twice as much as it was just 5 years ago. Now, a lot of the companies are saying this goes all the way back to the pandemic and some of the supply chains disruptions that they had then. But then you also had changes from the EPA. But the biggest jump is due to tariffs. You've got the parts, you've got the metals, and that new refrigerant. They all have to be shipped in. So, and right now, if you need a new unit, it's going to cost you between $9,000 and $20,000, of course, depending on how big your house is and how big of a unit you need.
Oh, $9,000 to $20,000. Now, I've got a small home. It's a tiny little house, so thankfully I don't need. But Longoria lives in a palatial estate in Cobb County. Is your AC okay? Do you need a?
It's doing okay. I hope you don't jinx it. But yeah, it's doing all right.
I actually, when Maya and I moved into the new house, unfortunately the AC crapped out like 4 months in. You might remember, and even then, this was 2 years ago. Yep. I got sticker shock on the AC unit, but Reliable has this service plan, conveniences. Yeah. So basically, I'm leasing the AC because I just bought a new home, and it was like. It's $4,000 for a new AC. I'm like, well, how about we not do that?
They're saying that it's better right now to obviously finance it, and then it's not going to get any cheaper anytime soon. So if you need a unit, go ahead and get it now.
Goodness gracious, $9,000 to $20,000.
Yep.
Comfort as a service plan. Check that out. Because who, aside from Erickson, who's going to join us live in a little bit, who can afford a $20,000 air conditioning unit? That's insane. I see a lot of box fans in a lot of folks' future, right? You need a new AC, it's $20,000. All right, let's go to Walmart and get a bunch of box fans and put a cube of ice in front of it like our ancestors did. All right, you know what? If you have a $9,000 AC unit, it'd be really cool to win $1,000 and knock that price down to $8,000. You know what? The next Blitz program we're going to do, we're going to give away a new AC unit.
A new AC unit.
A new AC unit every day on the Mark Arum Show. All right, 5K a day bonus Blitz, friends. Your 10 a.m. keyword is FATE. F-A-T-E, FATE. Enter the keyword FATE into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is FATE, F-A-T-E. And most importantly, don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword is FATE, F-A-T-E, FATE. Good luck. All right, let's check the roads. He's always cool as ice. Smile Mark McKay.
Second crash of the morning, Mark, on I-20 westbound in the work zone in DeKalb County. We see fire rescue on the scene. Left lane knocked out of the jam cam. I-20 westbound at Panola Road, exit 71. Heavy back before Evans Mill. You can get some relief by using Covington Highway. The delays rolling out of the northern suburbs really improved from this morning. Still seeing a slowdown headed north out of Ackworth. Police working left shoulder. That crash pretty much all wrapped up, though, on I-75 northbound, north of Highway 92. Exit 277. This report sponsored by John Foy & Associates Personal Injury Law Firm. Injured? Give John Foy Personal Injury Lawyers the first shot at evaluating your case. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. John Foy & Associates, the first call you should make to protect your rights. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Tuesday starting at 5 a.m. for Atlanta's morning news, breaking stories from overnight, our exclusive 5-day forecast, tracking a big-time warm-up coming. What's the big announcement coming from Atlanta Motor Speedway? Plus, why Clark Howard says we in Georgia are not as bad off at the grocery store as other parts of the country. And our last week at the Bonus Blitz contest, it continues with our keyword in the 8 o'clock hour. Your chance to win $1,000 on 95.5 WSB.
Summer heat is no joke. I've trusted Ragsdale with my family's comfort for years, and you should too. Ragsdale now offering up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. Along with saving big, you'll enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new Carrier system. With over 10,000 reviews and a 4.9 Google rating, you know they take care of their customers. Schedule at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Got a headache? Take a pill. Going out in the sun, you put on some lotion. But when it comes to regrowing your own natural hair, pills and lotions, not the answer. The answer, of course, Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Aram. AdvancedHair.com, AdvancedHair.com. What makes them different? Well, they combine science and technology to give you back your own growing hair. Not a pill, not a lotion that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. And best yet, it's a quick, simple one-day treatment and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need that free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or AdvancedHair.com. And if you move forward, get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. AdvancedHair.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Looking for the perfect engagement ring? At Shane Company, we know this is an exciting time. It can also be overwhelming. Customers say this a lot. Where do I start? How do I choose? At Shane Company, this is where the magic happens. Since 1929, we've been experts at helping customers find the perfect engagement ring. We invite you into the design process, help you pick out the perfect diamond or colorful gemstone, and choose a style that speaks to you. Come see us in store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home for maximum value, and that's without the stress of listing your home on the market. Hey, Sean Hannity here. You know, trying to sell your home can be overwhelming. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the entire hassle, get an all-cash offer, and close within days. That means no showings, no open houses, and the best part, no stress. Just go to markspain.com and find out what your guaranteed offer will be, and then you can start packing.
Will you solemnly promise and swear to govern the people of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland?
I solemnly promise so to do.
72 years ago today, as heard on WSB Radio, Queen Elizabeth II was crowned in Westminster Abbey. She took the oath administered by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Obviously, Deborah, you and I are very familiar with that because that was a big episode in The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
One of our favorite television shows. Yep. Keyword, 5K Day bonus blitz. You got 4 minutes to get it in there. Fate, F-A-T-E. Fate. Enter Fate into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash. Following up on the high cost of air conditioning units, Deborah, $9,000 to $20,000. I realized, and I'm going to call it some breaking news, because what I did last summer when...
Where is Hector?
Like I'm in an old house. The upstairs doesn't get the AC,
Yeah.
so the bedroom's upstairs. I went to Home Depot and bought a window unit. Like that's the only AC we had growing up in Connecticut. There was no central air conditioning. You know, my parents had an air conditioning unit in their bedroom. I suspect a rise of just those window units.
Window units?
Yeah. Did you have those in Wisconsin?
Oh, no. Are you kidding? My parents just made us open the window.
Well, I know your parents didn't, but they were a thing, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they were a thing, but we just didn't have them in our house.
So, all right, there you go. Vinny, you want to make a new side hustle? Go buy 100 air
door to door.
Yeah, air conditioning window units, and then just sell them. Set up shop. Always trying to get Vinny ahead of the game. All right, Fate, F-A-T-E, is the 5K Day bonus blitz. Sabrina has your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, Eric Erickson joins us live. A lot of political stuff to talk with EW. It's coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hey, it's Mark Arum for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment. Now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. They're well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Marketplace Grocery in Danielsville and Freshway Market in Social Circle.
Georgia Power has a variety of ways for customers to take control of their energy bills this summer. For income-qualified customers, there are discounts available when you meet certain criteria. There's even a community assistance and resource locator that can help when you click georgiapower.com/assistance.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. The suspect in that attack against people marching in support of Israeli hostages in Colorado, potentially facing murder charges. Ed Victor, a man who has taken part in that weekly march since last September, witnessed the attack.
We were lining up as we normally do, and I'm sure I walked right past the person with the Molotov cocktails. I lined up. I was standing. I remember looking west towards the mountains, talking to somebody. Suddenly, I felt a lot of heat. I turned and I saw a person on fire.
The Boulder County Sheriff's Office saying Mohammed Solomon may be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and others, including attempted murder. 8 people were injured when that 45-year-old Egyptian national used a makeshift flamethrower on the crowd and then reportedly shouted "Free Palestine" during the incident. FBI Director Kash Patel calling it a targeted terror attack, while Homeland Security saying the suspect is an illegal immigrant. Solomon is expected in court later today. All right, your weather going to be sunny and hazy with an afternoon high of 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. State Senator John Kennedy joining the race for lieutenant governor here, hoping to replace Jones. He tells WSB
the lieutenant governor's office is expected to be an open seat, and I think that's the next move for me to best and better serve not only my constituents, but a larger base and get to serve all of Georgia.
Kennedy, who is a Republican, has served in the state legislature for a decade. He is one of 5 Republicans now in the lieutenant governor's race, including Senate Majority Leader Steve Gooch of Dahlonega. So far, State Senator Josh McLaren is the only Democrat in that race. State Representative Jasmine Clark is joining 2 other challengers in the Democratic primary to unseat longtime Congressman David Scott, who has served as the 13th District Representative for over 20 years. Some have expressed concerns about Scott's age and health. He's going to be 80 this month. All right, you may want to go ahead and change your password. A huge data breach that impacts all Apple users and those who use Google or Facebook. More than 184 million passwords compromised. Online researchers saying that the leak impacted everything from email accounts to social media logons to bank accounts as well. All right, a new senior happiness index is out from Caring.com this morning, and they say that Utah is ranked the happiest state in the nation. The survey looked at things like cost of living, life expectancy, the health of residents over the age of 60, and the number of senior centers in a state. Georgia, by the way, ranked 20th overall. And the CEO of Delta Airlines saying he's more confident about demand for the second half of this year.
Bastian told Bloomberg TV that he expects demand to tick up a bit after weakness, especially in the U.S. earlier this year.
It's predominantly in the U.S. marketplace, predominantly in the main cabin section of the plane amongst our most price-sensitive customers. Business traffic is holding up.
Bastian said North Atlantic travel is doing well and that yields in the front end of the airplane remain strong. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
So how are your investments doing this morning? We're in the red. The Dow's down 205, 42,064. So the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ's down slightly, and so is the S&P. Let's get to check the road. Smiling Mark McKay joining us now from the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Can't shake the slow traffic in the work zone. DeKalb County, and it has nothing to do with work, Sabrina. It's a crash, injury crash. Still see DeKalb Fire Rescue on the scene and a left lane knocked out on I-20 westbound at Panola Road. Exit 71 delays back toward Evans Mill. Stick with it. It's about a 5-minute delay, or use Covington Highway through the heart of downtown Atlanta. Connector northbound slowing at I-20. 75-85 southbound, a little sluggish, leaving Georgia Tech, pointed south toward the I-20 interchange. And we've been watching morning long slow traffic into and out of Ackworth. Crash that was in the median is now working left shoulder northbound I-75 above Highway 92, exit 277. Southbound slowing as well, leaving Lake Allatoona. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and hazy today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower, high 85.
It is 73 degrees in Kennesaw and Villa Rica. Johns Creek, you have 74 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
He had said something along the lines of, Ethel, you Zionists.
Still to come, more on the breaking news, the terrorist attack in Colorado. But coming up next, all things politics. Eric Erickson joins us live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores, so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k. You don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
How is your roof holding up after all this heavy rain recently? After storms like that, think of Findlay first. The Roof guys. Extreme weather can really challenge your roof. Schedule a Findlay Roofing free roof analysis, findlayroofing.com.
10:37 on this really busy Newsday Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 1 hour, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see the Counting Crows, July 24th at Marist Bank Amphitheater. Right after the new news, before the Eric Erickson Show, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Speaking of the aforementioned Eric Erickson, he joins us live. Eric, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. We've been covering all over this story out of Colorado, terrorist attack, Egyptian man in custody, 8 critically wounded, maybe 1 fatality right now. The latest headline, though, is he was here in the country illegally, overextended his visa. I would imagine this is going to give Secretary of State Marco Rubio and DHS some more ammunition to really crack down on the visa system.
Yeah, look, I think so. And this is a highlight of the Biden administration failures. They extended the man's stay, giving him work permission through March of this year. He continued to stay into the country. And, of course, in Colorado, Boulder, especially, it's a sanctuary city. They don't cooperate with federal agents to get these people out of the country. So, yeah, the story is ripe here for Republicans to seize on, and I'm sure they will, and they have every right to. And the fact that originally CNN dismissed this as a terror attack because, in the words of Andrew McCabe on CNN, they arrived at the conclusion too quickly. I don't know how much more quickly you need to arrive at it when the guy is yelling "Free Palestine" as he firebombs Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, with a makeshift blowtorch and Molotov cocktails. I don't think it's going out too far to say that was a terrorist act. $50 million bond for the suspect. I was kind of. He's a middle-aged guy, about our age. That's what kind of surprised me. It wasn't, like a college-age student.
Yeah, and you listen, we've got more and more of this happening around the country. In fact, it's where I'm starting my show today. On Friday, this hasn't gotten a lot of news, but on Friday, the FBI arrested a Defense Intelligence Agency employee who attempted to give, not sell, but give state secrets to an unnamed foreign government. It's presumed to be China. And his stated reason is because he's lost faith in the United States since it elected Donald Trump.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, I'll be listening, obviously, on my way home. Local politics. Earlier in the show, we had JFK in. John Flanders Kennedy, Georgia State Senator, 11 years in the state Senate. He announced today he is running for lieutenant governor. Is this going to start a waterfall of political announcements, you think, now?
It may, although I hope it sticks everyone out. Now, I'm biased here. He and I practiced law together for a number of years. He's a dear friend, and I'm 100% on board his campaign. Great guy. But I suspect we're going to start seeing more. We're going to see some down in South Georgia with Buddy Carter moving into the Senate. We're going to probably see more Secretary of State announcements, probably see more Attorney General announcements as well.
I didn't even think of Secretary of State. So is Brad Raffensperger done after this term?
We don't know. He hasn't said. There were rumors he was looking at either the Senate or the gubernatorial race. He may want to hang on, but, given the MAGA contempt for him, although he's done a pretty good job positioning himself, undoubtedly there are going to be some who try to jump in to take him out.
So John F. Kennedy, I asked him, I said, why the lieutenant governor's, position? Because obviously a successful 11-year stint. The fact that he is friends with you shouldn't hold him back too much on the campaign trail. But what is that? How important is that lieutenant governor seat?
It's singularly important in the state Senate in that it really does drive the agenda. The lieutenant governor, as long as the Republicans maintain the majority, tends to have a very strong say in the agenda of the Senate, what gets passed and what doesn't get passed.
Interesting. Eric Erickson joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. You, of course, can hear Eric live noon to 3 on 95.5 WSB. Coming up a little bit, we're going to go to White House correspondent John Decker, the latest on the tariff situation. So President Trump got a reprieve, right? That 3-judge panel had said the tariffs were no good. They appealed. They got a temporary reprieve. What's going to happen moving forward with these tariffs?
We're going to have this appeal to the federal circuit. I don't know that they're going to uphold their original decision. They may kill the tariffs, but they did make the reasonable decision that it throws too much uncertainty into the status quo to have the tariffs pulled back while they decide, and then they could or could not reimpose them. So let the process continue to work. It actually made a lot of sense for them to do it. There wasn't a lot of surprise they would do it. There will be a lot of surprise, though, I think, if they allow the tariffs to be upheld under the piece of legislation Donald Trump cited for the tariffs.
Alternatively, I mean, if the courts don't go in the Trump administration's favor, he always has the option to go to Congress and use them to levy these tariffs, right? That's still a tool in his tool belt.
Yeah, he could, and a lot of members of Congress would prefer that he do that. There are Democratic sympathies to tariffs as well, so he may be able to get it through. The question is the Senate, though. It would be filibustered in the Senate probably.
And it was no surprise when that first 3-judge panel came on. We haven't talked since that happened. President Trump took to social media blasting Leo, the guy who basically aligned up all these federal judges for the president in his first term. Was that just him blowing off steam, or is this something we need to be following?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned here because, I mean, he's got the Supreme Court that has been most favorable to him because of the Federalist Society. Now, Stephen Miller says they're no longer listening to the Federalist Society or Leonard Leo. Full disclosure there, Leonard Leo did not fund an outside group by Stephen Miller, so there's some bad blood there. They would make a mistake if they're not listening to people. By and large, the Federalist Society has given the president what he wants. I've got a buddy of mine who's a federal judge Trump appointed because of the Federalist Society. He's ruled in Trump's favor 9 out of 9 times in his court. And he's more a Federalist Society guy than a Trump guy. And those people are most inclined to back Trump. The problem is a lot of Republicans now, Trump especially, has it in his head that Democratic appointees rule for the Democrats, Republicans should rule for the Republicans. Who cares what the underlying law is?
Yeah, that's why I like when we see the Supreme Court. I forgot what was that. It was an unsigned issue on Friday, right? But I think it was 8-1. Like that makes that warms my heart when I see the Supreme Court not just sticking to what they, whatever party they're affiliated with.
So that as well, that was allowing Kristi Noem to begin deportation,
Yeah.
and even Elena Kagan sided with the conservatives on the court.
Yeah, I mean, when I see that, I'm like, all right, we're okay. The justices, we're okay. If it's not always a partisan ruling. I talked about this. We went to London last half hour about this. I don't know if you plan on talking about that Ukrainian attack against Russia. Holy smokes, Eric, that's insane.
Yeah, listen, the fact that they were able to pull it out, they were able to infiltrate Russia with trucks, with remote-controlled buckets, essentially, to release them. Let me give you some data. Russia has lost 41,000 killed or wounded, 272 Russian tanks destroyed in the last month, 1,644 artillery systems destroyed, 607 combat armored vehicles destroyed or disabled. Russia's lost 12,835 tanks since the beginning of the war, and now over 40 strategic bombers this weekend.
And those are big. Like, that's very important, those bombers. And this coming on the heels that they're allegedly going to be talking, Russia and Ukraine. What, if anything, does that what they're calling it, the Russia Pearl Harbor attack, have to do with President Trump's view of the war in total?
Well, if you go back to February 28th when Trump was yelling at Zelensky in the White House, he said, you don't have any cards to play. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Turns out the Ukrainians have plenty of cards to play at a time that the president has realized the Russians aren't really interested in peace.
Could we see a reversal from the president and his sphere of influence? It had been like, let's not give any more money or military assistance to Ukraine because Putin has really shown no desire to negotiate. Could we see a return to more funding militarily to Ukraine?
I mean, it would be nice. My suspicion is what they may do is allow the Europeans to escalate weapons purchases and hand those over to the Ukrainians. So we're spending nothing, but we're still enabling the Ukrainians to fight.
Interesting. All right, Eric Erickson. What else are you going to be discussing at noon, my friend?
Story in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. Turns out the most popular university on planet Earth for the Chinese Communist Party to send its leadership recruits to, Harvard University.
7,000 foreign students currently at Harvard. That's a big number. We've got a lot here in Metro Atlanta, too, at Georgia Tech and at Emory, but nothing close
Greatest population of Chinese Communist Party leaders, Harvard University, over any university on planet Earth.
That's insane. All right, Eric, I'll be listening on the way home. Thank you, as always, for your time, my friend.
Thank you.
There you go. Eric Erickson, across these fruited plains. I think he's on like 14,000 stations nationwide now. Speaking of that, Deborah, I just found out they replay this show on the weekends. Did you know this? When do they replay this show, Longoria?
It's every overnight from midnight to 2, starting Tuesday through Saturday, basically.
So
the first 2 hours.
Midnight to 2, Tuesday through Saturday, they replay this.
Correct.
Yes.
The first 2 hours of the show.
Are you getting extra money for this, Deborah?
Oh, no.
Longoria, are you getting extra
No,
money?
I do have to put it in for
Yeah, no, Longoria,
I do have
he's
to
the one that puts it all together.
Listen, I love, because that makes sense now, because I'll wake up to random tweets at like 1 in the morning, like, you're crazy, Aaron. What are you talking about? I'm like, I'm sleeping. So I had no idea. They didn't ask my permission or anything. We should get a little something out of that.
Yeah.
I'll let you
Pizza
talk to Jen
party,
about that
maybe?
one.
No, I want money.
No, I don't want pizza.
$20 an hour for all three of us. Sorry, Vin.
They'll split that.
No, right? That's fair.
That's fair.
Give me $20 an hour. Yeah, I don't know. We got to renegotiate that. Did they ask you permission?
No, they just told me to do
Deborah,
it.
did they?
No, they didn't
just
ask
say-
me permission at all.
Yeah, they just say this is happening.
No, we need a.
It was like, hey, that show that we ran today? Yeah, we're going to replay that at midnight. I'm like, okay.
All right.
Here are the curtain
I don't think asking $20. That's $10 an hour for me and you guys. $120. That should be in the budget. That's not. I'm not asking for $1,500.
Right.
Give me $10 an hour to replay this
Would you
show.
rather have that or your phone not have to log in every 5 minutes?
I'll tell you what. If I don't have to log into my email and I get a new printer, I don't need the $10 an hour. Balls in your
Can
court,
Andrew and I
Ken.
still have the $10 an hour?
Yeah, what about us? We're
You
not
guys
getting a
still
printer
do.
and you computer.
Balls in your court, Ken. Balls in your court, my friend. All right, when we come back, more on that tariff news. We're going to go up to the White House. But first, let's check that Monday morning drive around town with a belly full of colonnades. Smiling Mark McKay.
It is. It's feeling like a Monday in DeKalb County, trying to get past an injury crash that's been out there for a while. Live in the jam cam. Yep, they're still working it with ambulance, fire, rescue. Still in the left lane, knocked out 20 westbound at Panola Road, exit 71, Highway 278. That's Covington High. Will take you from Lithonia and Evans Mill, get you over toward I-285 and around those delays. No need to avoid downtown Atlanta. Still working well on the connector north and southbound. A little tricky trying to make the transition from 20 west to 75-85 north. And picking up a slow zone now, I-75 southbound. We see the slowing as you leave the Town Center Mall region on I-75 south, leaving Barrett Parkway, trying to work your way down to Highway 5 Canton Road. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Listening to 95.5 WSB pays.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
That is awesome. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
Download the WSB app. Your next chance to win is coming up at noon.
Oh, my God.
From 95.5 WSB.
You know the best part about hot weather is walking into a cool, comfortable house, right? Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling. Summer is here. Don't let HVAC problems ruin your fun. Coolray is offering up to $2,250 in rebates and free installation with the purchase of a complete home carrier system. Ready to stay cool this summer? Visit Coolray.com to book your appointment today and keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey. And if home care is right for your aging parents, I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable, nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
10:55 on the Mark Arum Show, 5 minutes away from news, weather, and traffic. Deborah, I messed up. I forgot to ask Eric about Elon Musk's departure from Doge and the White House. But a new development there. Obviously, Elon's got a lot of irons in the fire, and he loves space exploration. He says he is going to go to Mars. It's going to happen?
Well, now that he's done in D.C., he can focus on going to Mars again, and he's thinking he's got a 50-50 chance of landing on Mars next year.
Whoa.
But he also needs some luck in his corner, because if you've been watching all the stuff at Starbase or SpaceX, they've had a couple of mishaps these last couple launches, yeah.
Now,
but if they get everything in line, they think they're going to be able to send like 20 ships to Mars by 2028.
Manned missions in the next year? No, not a manned mission, is it? That would be.
It just says they'll be going to Mars.
I respect that, the commitment he gave, the 120 days, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks for your service. But that's 120 days wasted where he could have been focused on putting Longoria on Mars. I know
I'll go to Mars.
Yeah, Deborah on Mars. I know there's a certain window, like you have to launch at a certain point in order to, all from that Mars movie. This is where I'm getting. This is not real information.
But it's not from Spaceballs when the window opened and they can go through.
But right in the Matt Damon Mars movies, they're like there's certain windows, one of the Earth's rotation and the Earth's
like the trajectory of the gravity or something.
But can you, man, Elon Musk, by the way, he had a black eye. Did you see that?
What happened when he was leaving D.C.?
No, apparently his son punched him.
Apparently he told his son to punch him.
Yeah, he told his kid to hit. I mean, I don't know if I don't buy that story. It's, but he had a black eye. And they're like, what happened? He's like, yeah, I told my kid to punch me. I don't know how old the kid is. Like, is he 24 or is he, a toddler? That makes a difference. Anyway, the kid's got a good solid punch. All right, that would be game changing if Musk can get us to Mars within the next year. A manned mission, even not unmanned mission. Let's do it. All right, still to come. We're gonna go up after news, weather, and traffic. We're gonna go up to D.C. White House correspondent John Decker as we continue our team coverage of the tariff situation. What comes next? What's the level of uncertainty on the markets? John will provide that coverage. And obviously, the breaking news out of Colorado, terrorist attack, suspect in custody. Well, the very latest from Boulder, Colorado. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Going back to college, I have sent my father Omaha Steaks for Father's Day because who doesn't love steak? Dads love steak. A recent survey showed 75% of Americans agree there's no better way than to spend Father's Day than grilling with the family. Dads love to grill. I remember some great memories as a kid of my dad grilling. Now I do. And I get him Omaha Steaks, and you can too. Shop omahasteaks.com and give your dad the legendary Heartland quality he deserves. Plus, my listeners get an extra $35 off when you put Eric in, E-R-I-C-K, as your promo code at checkout. Unbelievable quality from Omaha Steaks. I am a longtime gift giver of Omaha Steaks. My dad loves Omaha Steaks. Your dad will too. Go to omahasteaks.com, load up your cart with deliciousness, get $35 off, minimum order required, when you use promo code Eric at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. You'll get an extra $35 off with promo code Eric at checkout. Your dad will love you for it.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Rates are up, rates are down. Every day it's something different. If you're curious about what's going on and when the best time will be to buy or refinance your home, call the experts I trust at Myland. This is Scott Slade. There's a reason the guys and gals at Myland are able to close loans that other local banks just can't. The folks at Myland are local and somebody you can trust to make sure you get the best loan for your needs at the best rate. You don't have to take my word for it. Here are lines from some recent testimonials. Myland kept me up to date and informed with every step of the way. They make you feel like you're one of the most important clients they have. Myland specializes in home financing, and they've seen it all. So whether you want to access the equity in your home to pay for other debts, buy a new home, or anything else, Myland is the place to call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Or online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Mortgage License C148769. Myland's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. New information this morning in the terror attack in Boulder, Colorado on a group of Jewish people. Scott McFarland saying this morning the suspect has a court appearance this afternoon.
Among the local charges that will be handed up this afternoon at the courthouse in Boulder, Colorado, is a charge of a crime that targeted the elderly or senior citizens, those who may be at risk because of their age or vulnerable because of their age. These are the local charges right now. We'd expect there's a possibility the feds will take this case too and charge this in U.S. District Court, as the FBI is now joining local law enforcement on this investigation.
At least 8 people were hurt, 1 critically. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be sunny and hazy. Afternoon highs around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. This is new this morning. Chamblee Police creating a new LGBTQ liaison program in an effort to build a stronger relationship between law enforcement and the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community in that city. The chief of police saying, quote, the LGBTQ liaison program is our continued effort to build trust, ensure equitable treatment, and create a more welcoming city for all. Update on the tariffs. Rachel Scott reporting this morning that some tariffs on European imports may go even higher.
The president announced he's now doubling tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, raising them from 25% to 50%. This is starting on Wednesday. The European Commission blasting this move, saying that it only adds to the uncertainty, that it undermines ongoing negotiations, and that they're prepared to respond with countermeasures. And it comes as these tariffs continue to be challenged in court.
And home sellers are now outnumbering buyers. Rebecca Jarvis has more on what's behind the shift.
So one of the big issues in the market has been people who own a home don't want to sell a house because they know if they're going to buy a new house, they have to take out a new mortgage. That's going to cost them more money. But people have come to terms with this reality. There's also the uncertain economy. So there's people who are saying, okay, maybe I am going to sell my house and rent. And it depends on the market, though.
She says Florida is seeing the most homes on the market right now. The opposite's true in places like New York and New Jersey. She says if you are buying a home in this market, you need to make sure that you're going to stay there for at least 5 years. State Senator and President Pro Tem John Kennedy joining a crowded field of Republicans in the race for lieutenant governor.
Kennedy has served in the Georgia Senate for 11 years and is currently the top-ranking Republican. So why lieutenant governor?
As lieutenant governor, you get to greatly affect and impact the flow of legislation and the important things that need to be brought forth as solutions for Georgians.
Kennedy says as lieutenant governor, he would prioritize continuing to grow Georgia's economy and address chronic absenteeism among Georgia school kids. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
So far, State Senator Josh McLaren is the only Democrat in the race looking to potentially replace Burt Jones as lieutenant governor. State Representative Jasmine Clark is joining 2 other challengers in the Democratic primary to unseat longtime Congressman David Scott, who has served as the 13th District Representative for over 20 years, some expressing concerns about Scott's age and health. He's going to turn 80 this month. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Still watching this crash in DeKalb County. I-20 westbound, Panola Road, exit 71. It's in the left lane. That's why you're seeing the brake lights back to Evans Mill Road. Elsewhere, if you're traveling eastbound, I-20 eastbound, you'll encounter that right lane construction past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68, so use caution there. They cleared up a stall downtown, 75-85 northbound up around I-20. I-20. A few lingering brake lights leaving University Avenue, trying to make your way up past Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies but hazy today. High 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with some of the haze still sticking around. High 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower. High 85.
75 degrees in Woodstock, and Douglasville. Brookhaven has 76 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this beautiful Monday. Is it beautiful? I don't know. That's a judgment call. I say it's beautiful. Mark Arum crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see the Counting Crows, July 24th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. And in 1 hour, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot, although apparently you can hear the first 2 hours of the show tonight at midnight. I didn't know that, but John F. Kennedy in studio. John Flanders Kennedy, State Senator. His first interview after announcing this morning that he is running for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia. We obviously been covering that terror attack. We talked to Jason Allen from CBS News in Colorado. Got immediate reaction from the Israeli consulate here in Atlanta. A big story we're going to cover throughout the day here on WSB. But I want to head up to the nation's capital. Joining us is White House correspondent Jon Decker, fresh back from vacation. John, welcome back, my friend. Going to talk tariffs. Been a lot of tariff news. Tariff stories, plural. President Trump had some victories in the court when it comes to tariffs, some losses in the court when it comes to tariff. Where do we stand now as a nation in tariffs?
Well, it's right now he's got a green light, and the green light coming from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. It allows Trump's tariffs to temporarily remain in effect, and that's just one day before the U.S. the U.S. Court of International Trade on Wednesday ruled that the president overstepped his authority concerning tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So what it means, the president put that 90-day pause in those so-called reciprocal tariffs. That pause remains in effect until the early part of July. But once that pause expires, the president, according to what this Court of Appeals has decided, can continue imposing those tariffs. And I think that this issue ultimately will be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court. I think, Mark, what we're seeing right here is the lower courts certainly weighing in, including some judges actually named to the federal bench by Donald Trump in his first term in office. But it's ultimately going to be the highest court in the land, I think, that will rule on whether the president has the power to unilaterally impose these tariffs on dozens of countries around the world.
It looks to me, John, it's going to be timing on this, because you mentioned the early July end of the 90-day pause. We have that he got that victory from the appeals court, temporary stay, and what that trade court ruled. So it's a matter of, is the Supreme Court going to make a decision before these tariffs end or not? So it's really just going to be some calendar watching for everyone right now.
Well, that's right. And the Supreme Court, you've seen this before, Mark. I've seen it certainly, in also covering the Supreme Court. I'm a member of the Supreme Court bar. They can turn around a decision very quickly. We saw that last year where there were some cases that actually involved a candidate, Donald Trump, when he was campaigning for the presidency. They turned around an opinion in less than a month's time. So they can certainly respond in an emergency fashion to any type of appeal that comes to the Supreme Court before that deadline that we all know about in early July comes to pass. And I think that is likely to happen. The Supreme Court's going to be very actively involved in many decisions that the president makes unilaterally with executive actions during the course of his second term in office.
Correspondent Jon Decker joining us on the Mark Arum Show. In the meantime, as President Trump continues to negotiate with our trading partners, the fact that the legality of the tariffs are in limbo, at least in the short term, does that take away some of his negotiating power when he's dealing with some of our trade partners?
That's an excellent question, because if you are a country that has been hit with these reciprocal tariffs, even though they're on pause, it does impact, the extent to which you feel under the gun, so to speak, in terms of making a trade deal with the president. You might want to wait to see how the federal courts, ultimately the U.S. Supreme Court, weighs in on this issue before striking any type of trade deal with President Trump. And keep in mind, there has only been one country that has had an event at the White House to announce a trade deal. That's been the U.K. No other country has done that. And I think that the reason being is what you just alluded to, Mark, this wait-and-see approach to what happens in the federal courts.
Final quick question, John. Anything on the agenda today at the White House we should be monitoring?
It's a really slow day as it relates. You don't say that often with Donald Trump, but in this case, it does apply, Mark. It's a slow day for covering the White House. But what I've also noticed that is sometimes events get added to the president's schedule, and I would not be surprised if that happens at some point during the course of this morning.
As always, appreciate your time. Welcome back, John. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Mark. Always appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Yeah, the big question when it comes to the tariffs, and, John rightly said, I asked an excellent question there, is, with the tariffs kind of in limbo, right? They're active now, but we're waiting. It's eventually going to get to the Supreme Court. What does President Trump do when he's negotiating with the European Union, for example, or Mexico or Canada, or, the big elephant in the room, China? Does he lose negotiating power? Now, we heard from a variety of folks over the weekend on the weekend talk shows that President Trump, is set to meet with his Chinese counterpart, the president of China, Xi Jinping. In fact, let's continue our team coverage. Let's go up to the White House this morning. CNN's Elena Treen outside the White House.
No, that's exactly right. And the president continues behind the scenes to be very frustrated, of course, with that court decision from the International Trade Court that essentially said that the president did not have the authority, or at least the authority that he tried to impose these tariffs with, to have these sweeping tariffs be in effect. Now, what we've now heard from many different White House officials, including the president's top economic advisors, is that essentially they believe that the president will win that on an appeal. However, you heard this from Lutnick. You kind of referenced this, Kate, that there are other ways potentially that they could try to get these tariffs through if the courts do not go along with the Trump administration's appeal. This idea of reclassifying the tariffs, because the key issue that the court took issue with was the way that the president imposed them, which was declaring a national economic emergency and trying to go around Congress. So that is something behind the scenes that they're thinking about. But you could really tell from the major tour that his economic advisors did on the shows this weekend is that they were trying to show that they are still committed to this tariff policy, even as we've continued to see the president kind of, continue with his imposed tariffs and then back off from the threat. Now, one of the key, of course, major issues in countries really that this administration is still grappling with is what to do with China, because we've now seen the president and this administration come out and say that they are very frustrated that China is not really following the commitments that it agreed to after U.S. and Chinese officials met in Geneva last month. Now, we did hear many of his different advisors talk about this as well. What I'm hearing also behind the scenes is that they are actively trying to set up a direct call between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. His advisors reiterated that this weekend. Take a listen.
Well, we will see what the consequences are. I'm confident that when President Trump and Party Chairman Xi have a call, that this will be ironed out.
Donald Trump and President Xi, our president understands what to do. He's going to go work it out.
In fact, President Trump, we expect, is going to have a wonderful conversation about the trade negotiations this week with President Xi. But the bottom line is that we've got to be ready in case things don't happen the way we want, because if we have cannons but not cannonballs, then we can't fight a war.
So a few things to take note of all of that, Kate. One is that the president has been saying for months now that he believed that he could help settle this by talking to Xi Jinping. But they have been unable to get the Chinese leader on the phone thus far. So they are moving toward actually having this happen this week. And really, from my conversations with Trump administration officials, they do believe a call between the top two leaders of both countries is necessary to kind of unlock where they are right now, this status of not really sure how to move forward. And there's other moves I am told that they can take on China if they do not respond in turn. I was also told that they are not expecting to reimpose the 145% tariff figure figure on China that there's other tools at their disposal, but this is really going to be a huge week for those talks with Beijing.
Lane Treen at the White House, continue our team coverage. That is the one, if we are going to come to some sort of a trade deal, most importantly, it has to be with China. So we'll be monitoring that story. I got a chuckle out of this story, Deborah. I don't know about you, but when I'm driving around town, if Maya's in the car, I will take full advantage of the HOV lanes, HOT lanes. I don't mind paying if 85 is all gummed up in Gwinnett and I'm by myself, I'm going to go ahead and pay it. But a lot of times if I'm driving Deuce to the vet, and so our vet is off of Howell Mill, Moore's Mill on 75, and I live off 85 in Claremont, I got to get down there and traffic's bad. It always is freaking bad on 85 South hitting the Midtown. And I've got Deuce in the car. I'm like, oh, I wish I could use the HOV lane. Like, it's not just me in the car. Like, I've got a 60-pound dog.
That's true.
I was like, that should be a thing. Apparently now, pregnant women can use the HOV lanes. That's allowable, Deborah? Am I reading that story right?
Yeah, and I'm sure you've also seen people dress up like mannequins or put stuffed animals trying to use the HOV lanes. That you can't do. The HOV lanes are meant for 2 or more passengers. So technically, Deuce, should be considered. But the 2 or more passengers now will include expecting mothers. However, it is up to an officer. Like, if for whatever reason they decide to pull that person over thinking it's just one person in the car, it is up to that officer whether or not they're going to cite the expecting mom. But it's not illegal for a mother to be driving.
So typically, Longoria, when did Leslie start showing when she was carrying? Like, I have no idea. 4th month, 5th month?
About 8 weeks in, I think. 8 weeks in. Like, she starts a little showing, But
it's it's tough to tell until you're like 8 months.
Yeah,
and then
right.
So I wonder if you're like 4 months pregnant and you're in the HOV lane, do you bring the pregnancy test with the pink plus sign?
You just add it there.
Let me see your license, your registration, and the what's the name of those tests?
I don't remember.
The sticks?
Yeah. What isn't there?
There's one that's called something blue or something like that.
Isn't there a name brand? Yeah. Anyway, license, registration, and your pregnancy stick, please. That's fine. That's great. I think pregnant women, they get some supermarkets will give expectant mom parking. Yeah. I want coverage with the dogs as well. Like, I want to be able to ride in the, and poor Deuce, he hates the car so much. Soba is fantastic. I could drive cross country with her as long as we're stopping for fast food and she gets some fries. She's perfect. But Deuce gets even when I picked him up as a puppy from the Humane Society on Howell Mill, just driving him like a mile and a half to my house. He was drooling, throwing as a puppy. Like, he hated the car, and he's still, for whatever reason, just we were going to go to Sanjay's cabin in North Carolina. How long is that drive? Like, 2 hours?
4 hours.
3 hours? All right. And we didn't make it up to Gainesville. And I was like, Maya, we got to turn around. Deuce is panting. He's not going to make it. Like, poor guy. Yeah. Anyway. So Deuce would appreciate the HOV lane. So we can get to the destination quicker. Yeah, very interesting story. Real quick, Senate returns from recess this afternoon. Welcome back, guys and gals. And a big item on the agenda, that budget bill that would enact several of President Trump's legislative priorities. But handful of Senate Republicans who have expressed opposition to the bill. CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns has more from Capitol Hill, says this isn't going to be smooth sailing.
The problem is that just like in the House, the Republicans in the Senate also kind of have a narrow margin, although they have a little bit more room to work with. But the same problems still exist. You still have some members concerned about government spending, that this bill doesn't cut enough. On the other hand, you have some lawmakers concerned about these potential cuts to Medicaid and other social safety net programs, saying that they don't want to vote for something that might cut into the programs in their states.
My prediction, and I'm not in the prediction game, but since I'm on the radio, I'll go ahead and say it, is whatever comes out of the Senate, whatever budget bill comes out of the Senate, is going to look nothing like what came out of Congress. I think there's just there are enough senators that are going to say, no, we can't add this much to the deficit. The Rand Pauls of the world, they're not going to sign off on that big, beautiful bill. So what Frankenstein-esque looking bill will come out of the Senate is going to look a lot different than the one that came out of Congress. All right, when we come back, a new style of torture that I think some people actually might enjoy, and an AI fear, another AI fear, but this has nothing to do with your job or anything like that. It's the long-term future of humanity because of AI. We'll explain after traffic and a quick break. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Hello and good morning, Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Got some better news for those trying to make your way out of Lithonia. Heading to the east side perimeter on I-20 westbound. That crash at Pinolda Road, exit 71, just pulled away. All lanes are back open, so the brake lights from Evans Mill Road will start to improve. If you're traveling I-20 eastbound on the West Freeway, it's a little slow, leaving Riverside Parkway over to that west side perimeter. And downtown, tapping the brakes, 75-85 northbound as you leave I-20, making your way up to Peachtree Pine Street. Traffic brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits Atlanta Motorsports Park July 10th through 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Where you get your news is where you win.
Download the WSB app and get ready for the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Amazing. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Are you serious?
Your next chance to win is coming up at noon.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Oh, no.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
On 95.5 WSB.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here. At Ben Hill Renovations, deck building goes on year-round. Whether your existing deck is old, rotting, and unsafe, or you just want to upgrade your outdoor living space, now is the perfect time to get the ball rolling. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com. Better yet, go to their showroom, speak with the designer, and see all that they have to offer up close. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Got a headache? Take a pill. Going out in the sun, you put on some lotion. But when it comes to regrowing your own natural hair, pills and lotions, not the answer. The answer, of course, Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Arum. AdvancedHair.com, AdvancedHair.com. What makes them different? Well, they combine science and technology to give you back your own growing hair. Not a pill, not a lotion that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. And best yet, it's a quick, simple one-day treatment and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need that free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or AdvancedHair.com. And if you move forward, get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. AdvancedHair.com.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
The Senate may change, not as an institution, but may become a more efficient body because of televised proceedings.
Give me $1 if you recognize that voice. Time's up. Bob Dole, Majority Leader, 39 years ago today, Senate proceedings were shown on television for the very first time. Interesting. 1986, June 2nd, first time ever Senate proceedings were shown on television. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. I'm gonna bump the torture story, Deborah, because I want to talk about real quick the AI worries. Obviously, a lot of concerns about AI, but there's new projections that AI could literally destroy human population to the point we go from 9 billion people on the planet to like 10 million.
Something like that. So there's a computer science professor. His name is Sabash Kak, and he is forecasting that AI is going to obviously wipe out all of these jobs, which we've heard about, but it's going to be so bad that he thinks the big cities like New York and London are going to turn into these dystopian wastelands because there's not going to be anything to do in these hubs anymore. So they'll kind of be like ghost towns as AI takes over everything. And with less jobs, he's also assuming that people are going to be reluctant to have more children because there's really no future for them. So he is assuming that the birth rate is going to continue to decline and Earth's population could go from 8 billion, which is about kind of right now, down to 100 million by the year 2300.
23. All right, well, I won't be here for that. But that's from 8 billion to how many million?
100.
All because AI is going to take everyone's jobs.
Yeah.
And if you're married and you're like, why have a kid if they're never going to work and ooh, that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. Thanks for that, Deborah. All right, when we come back, a new way of torturing. I think the cartels are using this. How to torture people? Interesting. It's safe for work. Don't worry. And we're going to revisit earlier interview in Colorado. Jason Allen from CBS on the breaking news of the terrorist attack. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hey, it's Mark Aaron for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment. Now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. They're well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is next weekend, June 13th through 15th, only at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling, and while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery. It's next weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. You may want to go ahead and change your password. A huge data breach that impacts all Apple users and those who use Google and Facebook. More than 184 million passwords have been compromised. Online researchers say the leak impacting everything from email accounts, social media logins, and even bank accounts. All right, your weather for today, according to WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards, sunny and hazy. We do have an afternoon high expected to be around 83 degrees. Delegations from Russia and Ukraine ending their latest peace talks today in Turkey after just an hour. Ukrainian President Zelensky and Russian state media both reported on the end of the talks. Speaking in Lithuania, Zelensky saying both sides exchanged documents through the Turkish side and are preparing a new release of prisoners of the war. This war has been going on for 3 years now. China is pushing back on White House claims that it broke the Geneva trade agreement. Christine Roman's reporting this comes after both countries temporarily rolled back tariffs while talks continued.
But overnight, China weighing in, saying the U.S. has taken actions that, quote, seriously violate the talks. Just days after Mr. Trump claimed China had totally violated its agreement with the United States.
And trade tensions between the two countries have been rising since the Trump administration put more export restrictions on semiconductor design software and chemicals to China and said that it would take away visas for Chinese students. State Senator John Kennedy announcing his candidacy for lieutenant governor. He becomes the latest in a crowded field of candidates seeking to replace Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who's believed to be eyeing a run for governor. And there is another Democrat joining the race against David Scott, who served in Congress since 2003.
Congressman Scott turns 80 later this month, and some wonder if it might be time for some new energy. So State Representative Jasmine Clark is entering the race and believes a louder voice is needed to push back against the Trump administration. She has a Ph.D. in microbiology and has served in the State House since 2019. The heavily Democratic 13th District covers portions of Clayton County, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Henry, Newton, and Rockdale. Scott is seeking his 13th term and remains popular with many constituents. The Democratic primary will also include State Senator Emanuel Jones and former Gwinnett County Education Board Chair Everton Blair. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A split Supreme Court this morning declining to hear a challenge to state bans on assault weapons, semi-automatic rifles that are popular among gun owners and that have also been used in multiple mass shootings. The justice is turning down a case against a decade-old Maryland law similar to those in several other states. The decision comes 3 years after the High Court handed down a landmark ruling that expanded Second Amendment rights. Gun advocates and attorneys for Maryland disagree over whether the AR-15 and similar weapons are protected by the Second Amendment. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 227 at 42,042. So the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's down slightly. So is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads.
Cleaned up nicely through Lithonia, Sabrina, on I-20 westbound. That earlier crash long gone at Panola Road, exit 71. Brief tap of the brakes through Gwinnett County, dodging a tad bit of debris. 85 northbound, been in the right lane around Beaver Ruin Road, exit number 102. If you're traveling on the south side, seeing some volume. No crashes in the way, just a few brake lights. 75 southbound through Stockbridge as you leave Highway 138, exit 228. Once you get past Hudson Bridge Road, Eagles Landing Parkway, things break free for you as you head down toward McDonough. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and hazy today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 86. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up shower, high 85.
It is 77 degrees right now in Fayetteville, Brazelton, and Mableton. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Horrific sounds of witnesses to a terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. We'll update that big story next on The Mark Arum Show.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 62225, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
With Orchard, you can buy your new home before selling the old one and get paid twice. Cash up front now, more cash when it sells. Get started at Orchard.com. Get paid twice. Orchard.com.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on this extremely fast-moving Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Right after the noon news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you in $1,000. And Deborah, this is the last week of the bonus blitz. So this
Final week.
Yeah, final week. So you get 5 chances every day till Friday. And then maybe next week we'll start the air conditioning bonus blitz.
Yeah, we'll get the air conditioning blitz.
Yeah, we could give away. Obviously, we don't have the budget to give away a $20,000 home AC.
No.
But we could probably give away some window units. at some
Do you
point.
think so? Maybe
Yeah.
a box fan. We can get our sticker on a
box fan. All right. The 5 box fan a day giveaway on 95.5 WSB. All right, but that's coming up in 30 minutes. So right now, we've got some new tickets to give away this week. What do we have, Deborah?
Yeah, how about a pair of tickets to see Counting Crows at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on July 24th?
Fantastic. That's Adam, the lead singer.
Adam Duritz.
Yeah. Jews Nugget, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a member of the tribe.
He
Vinny,
dated both Jennifer Aniston and, what is it, Monica? What's her name?
Monica Lewinsky?
No, from the characters from Friends.
Oh,
Monica.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
He dated both of them?
Yeah, at the time the show was like really popular.
All right, good for him. Vinny's been great. We're going to take easy on Vin. 8th caller to 404-872-0750. 8th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Counting Crows July 24th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. All right, continue our team coverage of the horrific terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. Joining from CBS News in Colorado is reporter Jason Allen. Jason, good morning. Thanks for your time.
No, good morning. Glad to be here with you.
Just saw a banner on one of the cable news networks of the 8 people that were injured. One was a Holocaust survivor. What's the status of the injured, and what are you hearing from law enforcement authorities?
It's a big question this morning, and one we're working on because as the suspect was booked into jail overnight, it's notable that the charges against him specifically read murder in the first degree. Which, brings you to think that potentially some of these injuries are not just injuries anymore and that there may have been a death. However, at this point, authorities have not officially said that anybody has died. So that's something that we're working hard on. So he does have that first degree murder charge, though, and there are charges of using an explosive and incendiary device. There are charges of crimes against the elderly. Believe he'll have his first appearance here later today, but quite the bond on him as well, the $10 million bond that has been put on Mohammed Solomon for what happened here yesterday.
I played some witness audio earlier in the show. They say the suspect was using a makeshift flamethrower and throwing Molotov cocktails into the crowd. What event or what? Where was he when he perpetrated these crimes?
So this is an area in Boulder. It's sort of a pedestrian walkway, a mall, a street that doesn't have any traffic down it. And so there's all kinds of people that can be out here, especially on a nice sunny afternoon in the first few days of June. And this is a walk that happens every single week. People get together. It's not a demonstration. They don't want to call it a protest. It's merely a walk. They have pictures of some of the hostages that are still in Gaza. And it's just to routinely, draw awareness that these folks are still there. So it was as they were gathering in this same spot on the mall, and they do this every single week, and they have since 2023, as they were getting together is when witnesses say this suspect came up, started shouting anti-Israel statements, and then had that makeshift flamethrowers, it's been described, and the Molotov cocktails, and fire just starting erupting. There's still, you can see here in Boulder this morning, there's still scorch marks on the pavement. They've had maintenance crews out there this morning trying to clean that up. But yeah, this is a very public area, a place where there are a lot of people gathered and where they had been gathering since 23 without issues until yesterday.
Yeah, so I guess this would be like a weekly event that the suspect would have known in advance. Again, the suspect is Mohammed Sabri Salman, charged in this Boulder attack. He arrived in the U.S. in August of 2022 as a non-immigrant visitor. That, according to multiple law enforcement officials. He filed a claim a month later in September, was granted a work authorization in March of 2023. That authorization expired at the end of March of this year, at which point he appears to have remained here illegally, which is, obviously going to be a factor, I would imagine, moving forward, not only criminally, but politically. These charges that he's facing, Jason, Colorado state charges, federal charges, both. Do we know what comes first?
Right now, these are just state charges because he's being held by the here in Boulder County by the sheriff's office. So that's how it's starting. I'd imagine you have because you've got the FBI and DHS and everybody else looking into this. This could be a situation where they charge him federally instead of in the state. And they are still working to learn a lot more about him. The FBI was down south of where we are in Boulder, down in Colorado Springs, where they believe he was living. They were working there at a scene last night. So still a lot of investigation going on as to, I'm sure, just how much planning had gone into this. Was he working alone? Were there other people? Did he become radicalized? All those things that unfortunately we have become used to, those questions become used to asking after events like this.
Final question, Jason. I probably know the answer. Just reaction from the Boulder community: shock, stunned, saddened. What are you hearing from the folks on the ground level?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just a few minutes ago actually talked to the regional director for the ADL who lives here in the Boulder area, and she was in New York yesterday and it was there with her family and got a text and immediately went to the airport and got a flight and came back here. And obviously she said you're struck when something happens like it happened less than 2 weeks ago in DC because it feels like it's hitting, the Jewish community, but to have it hit right in your own community, your hometown, she said that's a very, very difficult thing. It brings it so much closer to home. And that's why she came back right away. She said she had to be here for her people in her community.
Jason Allen, CBS News in Colorado. Jason, great reporting on a very difficult story. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Any new developments in the investigation? Motive seems pretty evident right now. Again, a $50 million bond. The suspect here illegally overstayed his visa. $50 million bond was taken into custody without any incident, I believe. But any new developments on the story, we'll, of course, bring them to you live here on 95.5 WSBN. I believe Eric Erickson, who joined us earlier on the show, is going to continue the discussion coming up after the noon news. All right, I teased this story like 4 times, Deborah. I did not see this in any of the Narcos seasons we've watched, but as we eagerly await another season of Narcos, a new method of torture for these cartels, and it's something I never thought about. It would work well on me, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, if Narcos needs some ideas, take note of this one. 3 drug traffickers are now in prison after they kidnapped a rival drug trafficker and they tortured him for about 20 hours using hot sauce. Now, this happened down in Tampa. It was actually like 10 years ago, but they kidnapped this guy and they tortured him by pouring hot sauce in his eyes and some other body orifices. I don't know. You get the idea, right? They did that for 18 hours straight.
So it's not like eat a spicy wing.
No. It's not like that video where they just make you eat hot and hotter food. Yeah.
So, that's not good. That's not good. When we went to Sushi, Deborah, the other day, Vinny wanted hot sauce at the sushi place, and they were like, what? What? But I thought they'd have sriracha or something.
Yeah, they should, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't need to put it in my eyes with my tummy. Just,
put it on your tongue.
Yes.
And you're done.
I'll get up. Longoria is the dealer. He's my source. Yeah, don't torture me anymore. All right. Well, I guess A+ for creativity there. Fortune 500 list released. That's still a thing, Fortune 500. Fortune magazine released its list of the nation's top 500 companies ranked by revenue. Any guesses on what number 1 might be? Top ranked company by revenue, Deborah. What do you think?
Is it Amazon?
I would say Amazon or Apple. What do you think, Longoria?
Yeah, that's what I would think, too.
All right, Amazon. Let's find out from Christopher Cruz. We'll see who's right.
List has been there for a while. Matt Heimer is the executive editor for features at Fortune.
The number 1 firm on the list this year is Walmart. This is their 13th year in a row as the American company with the most revenue.
Walmart generated $681 billion in revenue. But Heimer says Amazon is right behind Walmart and gaining fast.
Amazon is closer than ever to catching up with Walmart. They were separated by only $40 billion in revenue.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
All right, so what did I guess? Apple?
Yeah, Apple and Amazon.
Yeah.
Said Amazon or Apple.
Yeah, Apple's 3rd. No, 4th this year. They dropped to 4th. United Health Group is 3rd. That's interesting. Apple slipped to 4th, but I wouldn't have guessed Walmart. But I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, we all go to Walmart.
I haven't been to Walmart in a long time. They closed mine on Howell Mill.
How come you close everything? Everywhere you move, somewhere closes.
Oh my! We went to a graduation party the other day, and I was talking to this. Maya and I were talking to this older couple, and the guy was lamenting the closure of Captain D's. And mine's like, blame Mark. Everywhere he goes, he's like, the one on North Druid Hills burned down, and then the La Vista one closed, and she put the blame on me. I'm Eddie Mush when it comes to stuff closing down. All right, congrats to Richard in Smyrna. That deserves a bell ring. He won a pair of tickets to see Counting Crows July 24th at Marist Bank Amphitheater, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB. Coming up after a quick break, we'll hit our top local stories. And then right after the new news, another chance to win $1,000. Yes, right after the new news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Chance to win $1,000 on 95.5 WSB. All right, let's get the latest on the Monday morning drive around town. Live to the only 24-hour traffic center in the southeastern U.S. It's Alex Williams.
And the hits keep on coming over there in DeKalb County, Mark. A new crash, left lane, I-20 westbound at I-285, exit 67. Slowing once again back before Wesley Chapel. All those cars that broke free from the earlier crash at Panola Road now in it again. If you're traveling through downtown Midtown, 75-85 southbound, seeing some brake lights starting in Midtown from 17th Street as you make your way down to Peachtree Pine Street. Right lane slowing on the west side perimeter, 285 southbound. As you approach Hollowell Parkway, a lot of that merging madness getting down to I-20, the West Freeway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Tuesday starting at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News. Triple Team traffic reports get you to work on time. And Clark Howard on how to protect yourself against data breaches before they happen on WSB.
You've had your windshield wipers on high a lot lately, and they're getting the job done, but how is your roof holding up after all this heavy rain? Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Extreme weather can really challenge your roof. After storms like that, think of Findlay first and schedule a free roof analysis. Findlay has installed over 65,000 local roofs. They've mastered roof replacement and do impeccable, high-quality work. Schedule now at FindlayRoofing.com.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume, how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. D. Geller & Son, Watches and Whiskey. Father's Day weekend, June 13th to the 15th. Watches and Whiskey. Complimentary whiskey tastings courtesy of Old Fourth Distillery. They'll include brands like Tissot, Omega, Rolex, and Breitling, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrate Father's Day. Come out and get Dad a great watch for a low, low price at D. Geller & Son. Whiskey gift set with all purchases. D. Geller & Son, Watches and Whiskey. June 13th through the 15th. I hope to see you there.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
11:54 on the Mark Arum Show. Right after the noon news, I am going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win month-changing. I'm not going to say life-changing. $1,000 can change your month, though, for sure. Keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz right after the noon news. Coming back to some breaking news. Deborah, we were just talking about restaurant closures and how I'm to blame. Yeah. Let's go live to the traffic center. Another restaurant closure, Alex Williams. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this one hits close to home. The Taco Mac off Peachtree in Midtown is permanently closed, best I can tell, as of today.
Wow, that's right. The one right next to Fado, right, where we used to have our Christmas parties.
Yeah, right down there. I think around like Peachtree and 10th area.
Now, is that the one you get delivered from all the time?
All the time.
Oh, you're screwed. You're so screwed, Alex. That's from ATL Scoop, right? Let's give credit. Yeah, ATL Scoop on Instagram. I have nothing to do with that. I'm sorry. So the Taco Mac in Decatur closed, Deborah, and now the one in Midtown closed.
You closed the one in Decatur? You moved it? How long have you been there that you closed the one in Decatur?
I'm not taking blame for you. I'll take blame for Captain D's on La Vista, but I'm not taking blame for it. All right, thank you, Alex. Wow. Breaking news. I think Alex might just want to start the show. Real quick, I was going to talk to Vinny, but he already skedaddled to run the Erickson Network. A revamp to Tinder. What's the revamp look like, Deborah?
Yeah, Tinder's going to change their game because it's been known as like the hookup site, but Gen Z seems less interested in the hookup culture than I guess millennials did. So they're going to try to adapt Tinder and introduce this thing called low pressure meets where they're going to actually encourage double dating. So you'll pair your friends up and then they'll get paired together so you guys can go out as groups.
Heather, can you hear me? You're a Gen Z. A thumbs up. Are you on Tinder? A thumbs up or down? She says down. All right. Vinny, I'm sure he does. He has like, it's like on Sugar Daddies or whatever.
What is that?
Are you on Tinder, Vin?
Sugar Daddy.
I don't know. Are you on Tinder?
I'm on Tinder, but I don't use it.
All right, but they're revamping it, Vin, because apparently your generation's not into hooking up. You just want to hang out.
No. Silence.
That's hooking up, though, right?
No, hanging out is not hooking up.
Can be.
No, it can't be.
Totally different.
No, yeah. All right. Anyway, thank you, Deborah. All right, let's see if we got some stars of the show to give away. Alex just got it. Good job, Alex Williams.
Longoria's fact of the day.
Fact of the day.
One fact of the day first. That's first. Today's Rocky Road Day. Rocky Road. It's a popular dessert flavor with a history stretching back to the Great Depression. While William Dreyer was credited for inventing it, the flavor has roots from America and Australia. The name itself reflects the rocky road ahead during the Great Depression, proving
Isn't
a
there
sweet
like
distraction.
marshmallow in it and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
it's like marshmallows. Rocky Road.
Yeah, shout out to Goonies. All right, good fact of the day. Enjoy some Rocky Road today, folks. All right, now let's do stars of the show. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry. I was pitching a perfect game. I was pitching a perfect game until I did that. I am out of contention for star of the show. Alex Williams with the breaking fast food, no, regular food news, not even fast food. He gets a star of the show. John Flanders Kennedy joined us live in studio. He gets a star of the show. Anat Sultan Dadan from the Israeli Embassy joined us. She gets a star of the show. Jason Allen from CBS live in Colorado with the breaking news there. Star of the show for him. Eric Erickson, always good to chat with my buddy Eric. Patrick Reevell joined us from London on the crazy Ukraine attack on Russia. He gets a star of the show. And White House correspondent John Decker on the Trump tariffs. Oh, and Deborah just, I'm going to post a nice social media video on my Instagram account, @MarkAirman. All right, Longoria too. Everyone but me. Did I go into Vinny yet? Yeah, Vinny too. All right. Social media. Go follow me on Instagram, @MarkArum, MarKarum. Don't go anywhere. 5K day bonus splits coming up next. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
More and more real estate agencies are offering you what are known as preview listings, where they don't go into the multiple listing service at first to test the waters as to what is a reasonable value for the home you're trying to sell. And as a seller, this controversial practice is something I recommend you take advantage of. See what the market really does think before you go live in MLS.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more.